for me.
What is up, Buffalo Fanatics? Z-Bot Rico live on the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube channel after one of the greatest games in the history of the NFL and after one of the greatest victories in the history of the Buffalo Bills franchise. 41-40, down 40-25 in the fourth quarter on the leg of 41-year-old Matt Prater. The Buffalo Bills win it 41-40 in a game we will never, ever forget. File into the chat. Give us your thoughts in the comments. We're nearing already 1,000 of you, over 100 comments in the live. Let us know your thoughts throughout the night. I mean, Rico, let me know your thoughts. Where do we begin?
Ladies and gentlemen, how about them Bills? They do this to us just to mess with us, just to make us go into the cabinet, pop a couple pills to bring our pressure down. But the pressure went way up. Josh Allen turned it on, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is why he was the mother effing MVP last year, and he's making a case for it right now. You're down 2 scores. You call on 17 to come out here and handle business. You got to love it. I love this team. When they're winning, and they're winning like this, you gotta love it. Folks, if you love the way the Bills came back and put a W in the column, smash that like right now. Let's get this thing to over 1,000 likes and share this sucker everywhere you can. Z-Bot.
Dude. The Bills are 1-0. And an hour ago, you thought it was inevitable the Bills would be 0-1. You were starting to think, hey, the Jets played twice as good as the Bills did today. What's next week going to look like? You said it to me, Rico. It happened to me as well. You're sitting there. You're looking at the phone, right? You're looking up. You're wondering. You're looking at Jenna. I'm looking at Caroline and everybody I'm with. We're just saying, man, I mean, this is an ass kicking. This is a pounding. Bills didn't show up to play in a variety of different areas. The Ravens showed up to play. The Ravens outplayed Buffalo. The Ravens outplayed Buffalo in every facet of the football game, top to bottom. Yet here you are. You're sitting there, and somehow, and Chris Collinsworth kept referring to it, and he was spot on. He goes, the Bills never really felt like they were in this game ever. Yet here you look, and here they are. They still are here. It's not over. And then one thing happened, and another thing happened, and all of a sudden you're sitting there, and before you know it, Matt Prater's running out in a fire drill field goal to kick the game winner off the couch. Rico, this guy comes in. Tyler Bass is put on IR. Matt Prater is signed, 41 years old, off of his couch. Go in and win the game. Go in the last home opener ever at the Ralph. Put it through the wickets and win one of the most insane games in NFL history. That is exactly what he did. I don't even know where to begin. Folks. I know I say this a lot. I know I can get a little over the top, I guess you could say, when I say, oh, this was historic here, this was historic there. And I guarantee you, when I tell Caroline tomorrow, this is the most historic victory maybe in Bills history, easily on a short list. When I say this, you guys cannot, I'm telling you right now that you just witnessed one of the most insane games in NFL history. You just witnessed one of the most remarkable victories in NFL history. Your Buffalo Bills pulled it off.
And how fitting to do it on Sunday Night Football, your home opener at home. That's the last home opener you're going to have in Buffalo, and you come out and you deliver a bang like that. That is going to be etched in the memories of 70,000 Bills fans, etched in the memories of Ravens fans that had to witness that in Buffalo. What a time to be at that stadium. What a time to be watching this game on your couch, slouched like this, saying, my gosh, what are we doing? what's happening now? Look at this defense. And all of a sudden, just like Undertaker, that bell rang. You're back up again. And you're like, what? Are we still alive? Are we still doing this? Did we just make it? Okay, I'm feeling it now. Now Josh is dialing. Minute when I saw Josh dialing and dotting passes, I was like, okay, someone's awake.
Mind you, Rico, they couldn't complete a pass down the field. All of a sudden, they're air raid hour. They're just nickel and diming down the field right when they needed it most. They couldn't do that all game. Not once. Not once.
It was something to see. And it's just this is how beautiful this game is. Because you go from being counted out. How many teams did we watch today that they just gave up? It's over for them. They didn't even bother trying. It was a wrap. But there's something about having a leader in that locker room, a leader behind center, a leader in that huddle that says, no, we don't give up until it's all the way done. And here's the thing. When you have a guy like Josh Allen that has no quit, how the heck can you go out and quit on him? Hell no. We got to battle right to the end until we see 000. And that's exactly what these Bills did. I can't be more happy. Now, was it all roses and flowers?
No, and we will get there. I promise. We will. But we gotta savor this, right?
Absolutely. We're going to celebrate the victory in itself. The victory in itself is what we should be sitting here enjoying, because I'll tell you right now, come Monday morning, everything's going to taste just fine. Your breakfast all of a sudden is going to taste a little better. The grits or the oatmeal, that breakfast sandwich that you get from that rundown spot, wherever you live at, it's going to taste amazing. It won't matter because the Bills just gave us a nice victory. Sleep at night, and we're going to do. And what better way for you guys to be hanging out with us right now? Hanging out with us past midnight. You're not going to bed. You're hanging out with us.
No way.
Game down and have a good time while we do it, baby. Let's go.
Folks, we've been waiting to hang out with you post-game since the last game we saw, and that was against the Baltimore Ravens. Or excuse me, that was against the Kansas City Chiefs. The last time we got to hang out with you post-game in a victory was against those Baltimore Ravens. We've been waiting about 6 months to hang out with all of you. There is over 2,000 of you in here right now. We've been waiting to hang out with each and every one of you after a game. The fact that we're hanging out with you after this game, on the right side of that game, we are hanging out with you tonight with a victory from that game. I mean, this is week one. This is the start of the season. This is the last home opener. All the things that go with it, the first post-game show of the year, and we get to sit here and talk about and celebrate and just bask in what was quite literally one of the most intense and insane viewing experience that you could ever have. If you are as diehard of a fan as I know you are, as I am, as Rico is, and of course, as you are, you wouldn't be tuned into us at 12:20 a.m. on a Sunday night if you weren't. You know exactly the feeling I'm talking about. That was a roller coaster. That was an odd roller coaster because the lows of it were so low that you thought that it was just time to get off the ride. You thought you were just going to get off the ride at any minute. The ride broke down. The ride didn't have the wheels left on it. What's the point of even staying in the seat anymore? But for some reason, you heard, I don't know, you heard around town that this ride at the park is one of the best in the business. And you're just waiting for it. You're just waiting to see what all the hype's about. And then all of a sudden you start going up that hill again. You start going up that mountain again, and you're hitting corkscrews and you're hitting loop-de-loops and you're going 110 miles an hour. And when you get off of that ride, Rico, you walk off and you say, that was the most insane ride I've ever been on in my life, but I don't want to go on it again. I want to go on the easy rides for the rest of the year. That's what I want to do.
You know what? When you go on rides like that, part of you says, let's do it again. Let's freaking do it again, because although you're scared shitless, but let's do it again because the thrill was amazing. And because it's the team that you love, like we watched games today, like the Jets and Steelers game was a good game. It was a back and forth. You're like, oh, where's this going to go? This is amazing. The Atlanta and the Tampa Bay game, where's it going to go? This is great. Wow, what's happening? But when it's your team, when you were down by 2 scores,
yes,
and you're done, and you're like, oh, this is it. We didn't go for it. We went for 2 instead of 1 when we should have took the points. All of a sudden, a missed extra point by the Ravens. That's insignificant. We're down 2 scores. No, wait a minute. You got me sounding like Ray J. Wait a minute, because we came back, and now look at us. Look at us. Look at me. Look at you.
Eating grapes in my throne right now. I'm
telling you, we having a good time. So, folks, now that you guys are all tuned in, you're with us. Let's break this game down from start. But talk to me. Your initial thoughts, our first series. We get the ball. We start with the football. I thought that was a little odd at first because I'm like, oh, normally we defer. We give it to them. We wanted the ball. We want to set the tone. What were your thoughts on that first drive? We punched it in for 7. What are your thoughts on that?
I was absolutely through the moon. I was elated. In fact, so much so that I really do owe my little niece and my brother-in-law a massive apology because she was up late. It's a school night for her. And my brother-in-law so happens to be a Ravens fan. They were in the room with me. And I don't know what came over with. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know what came over me. But that drive, especially when Allen should have gotten picked off, by the way, and you're thinking, oh, is this how we're going to start? And then Allen hits Kincaid. And of course, we're waiting for Kincaid, right, to take that step. So the fact that Kincaid starts the year off with a dime from Josh Allen through 2 defenders to score, I freaked out. So I tweaked. I got up and I was going nuts. And unfortunately, my sweet, sweet niece, love her to death, she was scared by Uncle Bot. He's scared. And she had to go to bed, and I feel super bad about it. Yeah, she was not loving it, and I don't blame her because something came over me where I'm just like, first touchdown of the year, football is back. Kincaid punches it in. Allen's looking good. So I went nuts. So right off the rip, Rico, right, you get that beautiful drive. Granted, Allen makes a mistake. Collinsworth put it perfectly where you overthrow the ball to Shakir maybe a bit because of the hype that's surrounding being back. But it's dropped, right?
I was like, whoa, that's not like Allen do something like that. Facts.
Totally, right? So he gets the ball back, of course, and they punch it in. So you're feeling terrific because you go right down the field and you set the tone. We had known going into this game that it was going to be a game in which whoever controls the vibe offensively typically wins. We've seen Baltimore beat Buffalo because of Buffalo's inability to catch up to what Baltimore was doing offensively. The fact that Buffalo went down and set the tone was massive. And then to go and stop the Ravens and hold them to a field goal, get after Lamar on that opening drive, you were feeling good. Little did you know what would be coming around the corner, because after Baltimore went down, stalled out, and had to settle for 3, they would turn on one of the most prolific offensive performances really ever. I'm not kidding you. And they lose. I mean, I guys, I can't. If you are a Ravens fan, my heart goes out to you. Listen, we know what it's like to be on the other end of that. I mean, the 13-second game, and here's the crazy thing. This might have been more insane than the 13-second game because the Bills were never down 15 in that game in the fourth quarter. This was one of the most insane games in any sport ever of all time. To be on the losing end of that, I know what it feels like, how crappy. I feel like this might be on another level. My heart goes out because your Baltimore Ravens, at least offensively, Lamar Jackson looked unbelievable. Lamar Jackson made a couple of plays tonight, including evading that sack late in the game that should have ended the game. That was one of the greatest.
Back-to-back plays.
Dude,
not only did he evade both Greg Rousseau and I think Joey Bosa, he runs for the first down. Then the very next play, touchdown.
And it was a perfect microcosm of the game, wasn't it, Rico? Those two just dominating.
And you're sitting there as a fan. You're sitting like, okay, we got him. We got him dead to rights. I was like, it's third and long. We got him running for his life. He's just going to throw it away. He's good. No, he just didn't. He didn't just do that. No, he's not going for the first down. First down? All right, fellas. Somebody make Derrick Henry down the sideline. That was what this game felt like, where we thought we had something, and then we let it out of our grip. So now you're sitting here going, all right, I guess 0-1. I hate starting 0-1. I got to be real. Although I still believe in this team, that there's a lot of game left, but like when you're going up against an elite quarterback in Lauren Jackson, an elite runner in Derrick Henry, and a defense that's Kyle Hamilton is just surveying the freaking heck out of that backfield, I was discouraged. Oh man, you just discouraged.
You know that feeling that comes over you when you don't have control of anything, but yet you're so sickened by what you're witnessing. I could have vomited when Lamar got out of that sack. I wanted. I mean, and you know I'm no stranger to shedding a tear or two over this team. No. I just felt something come over me where I just wanted to just break down. I'm like, dude, because you can't do anything. You couldn't have defended it better. There's nothing you can possibly do about the play made. And the fact that you had to just sit and watch it, and then, like you said, to just parlay that into a Derrick Henry 50-yard sprint down the left side, and you're just sitting there, and you're just like, you gotta be. And mind you, this was right when the Bills were starting to show like maybe they could get back in the game, right? You know, that felt like the absolute dagger on this football game.
Listen, you're speaking. Yeah, I know. You want to say the words and you want to get it out there. But you can't. I will say this before we get into the Bill stuff, because we probably have Ravens fans watching right now, so we're not going to sit here and poo-poo all over the Ravens.
No.
Because there's a tremendous amount of respect for that Ravens team. They're going to be good. There's no question about it. That AFC North, you're probably going to have that bagged up in no time. I will say this, though. Lamar looks phenomenal. Like, this guy, every time he touches the ball, I'm scared shitless that this guy's going to do something crazy, right? Derrick Henry, a constant thorn in our side. This guy just doesn't like to just let us live. Let us live, bro. Just let us live. This guy always has to just kill us. But in a way, it kind of took away from Lamar Jackson having to do the heroics. They thought they could just give the ball to Derrick Henry and let him just keep going. I mean, I'm not saying that age is a factor, but I mean the brother's over 30. You know what I'm saying? So you keep giving him the touches like that. At one point, fatigue's going to settle in, and I think that's where we took full advantage, and it worked out in our favor. But kudos to that Ravens team. You guys are going to be great. That defense, I mean, there's some things you got to talk about because I thought you guys started phenomenal. You guys were doing great. You guys were stifling us. And then Josh Allen became Josh Allen. I mean, there's nothing you can do about that. Josh is Josh. The same way that we can't do a whole lot when Lamar's Lamar, Josh is Josh. But kudos to the Ravens. Y'all are going to be great. We will see you again. I'm sure we will.
Oh, listen,
see you again.
Here's the best way to put it. We have one game left, Bears Vikings, and I highly doubt we're going to see anything tomorrow night that's going to make us say, now that right there, that's the class of the league. Okay. So what you watched up until this point, you just watched the two best quarterbacks currently doing it in the NFL. I don't know how close it was. I mean, after this weekend, it doesn't come close. That was as good as it gets. And the bar from what they just did to everybody else league wide through the entire first week, it is so seismic you couldn't even wrap your mind around the difference between what those two just did and what everybody else did. You also factor in Josh Allen's ability to just man, oh man, the MVP right now, and mind you, once again, week one, the Bills could go out next week. I don't know what's going to happen after this. I don't know. And frankly, right now in the moment, I just don't care. That was as heroic of a performance as you'll ever see. And to those who continue to question, well, why is Josh Allen considered to be the MVP? If there's any other quarterback playing against if there's any other quarterback in the Bills in that game, they lose 40 to maybe 10, maybe, if they're lucky. And if there's any other quarterback in that second half facing the deficit that the Bills were facing and having to make the plays that the Bills made, nobody else is doing it. And you saw tonight an early bid for the back-to-back MVP run, because after week one, Josh Allen is your current leader in the leader house for MVP, and for all the reasons that you expect to see from him. But this was on another level. We have seen greatness from Josh Allen in a variety of different ways. I don't think we've ever seen anything quite like what he did tonight. 33 of 46, 394 yards. And this comes in a performance where it wasn't good for a large portion of it. The inability to move the ball down the field, the inability to do anything beyond the line of scrimmage, the amount of screen passes run in this game made me want to jump through a window. I couldn't believe the amount of times they would drop back, have absolutely nothing, and have to dink it down at the line of scrimmage. But then all of a sudden, when it mattered the most, when the game needed to be turned on its head, Allen was finding guys, making plays, put the cape on. And you saw tonight why 17 is one of the best to ever put on the shield. It was an unbelievable performance. And that goes alongside the performance Lamar Jackson had. You'd be hard pressed, I think, Rico, maybe ever to find a better duel than what we saw this evening amongst the past two MVPs in the NFL.
I'll tell you this, because you talked about the performance of Josh Allen and what Josh Allen means to this team and what he does and how it was a slow start. Folks, unless you were living under a rock, Josh Allen in the second half alone against the Ravens. Let me show you this graphic by PFF, folks, just to give you an idea. Well, I got the wrong one here. So if you take a look here of what we're looking at in the second half alone, The biggest thing for me is 0 turnovers. All game long were great, but 21 for 29, 300 total yards of offense and 3 touchdowns in the second half alone.
And that's against the defense they couldn't do diddly squat against for 30 minutes.
Good heavens. I'll tell you right now, folks, this is why Brandon Beane and Pagula said, pay him what he wants. If he wants $330 million, so be it. He should be the highest paid quarterback in the game. But the brother's like, you know what, 330, I'm good. You know what? You want to give you $5 million more? No, cut that. Let's buy some. Let's use that to bring more talent to the squad. Folks, I can't be a more happier Bills fan than right now watching the guy. Like we're watching live future Hall of Famer. Live. The guy just scored his 66th rushing touchdown to surpass the great Thurman Thomas. To surpass the great Thurman Thomas. Need I say more of how fantastic Josh Allen is? My goodness.
I was trying to explain this to the people I was in the room with. I said, Josh Allen just scored a 66 rushing touchdown. He just surpassed the greatest running back in the history of the franchise, who is a Hall of Famer and appeared in 4 Super Bowls. And he's a quarterback. I don't think you understand the magnitude of what has been accomplished here. He's not even halfway through his career. I mean, he's going to double Thurman Thomas's rushing touchdown total as a quarterback. I mean, what this guy is doing and what Lamar is doing too. I mean, that's the thing. It's just like you watched tonight. You watched. We are the era of quarterback we are living through right now. And this is coming from somebody who grew up watching, Brady, Manning, Breeze, Roethlisberger, all of these guys. I mean, this is so unique and different because the way that these guys do it is unlike anything we've ever seen. And they're all similar in certain ways and different in their own unique way. But you can tell what I'm saying here. The way that they play is so unorthodox in the most entertaining and most mind-blowing way. This is where I'm watching a game like tonight, and I can never understand how people do not at least somewhat like or appreciate sports. I don't know how you could watch that and not walk away thinking anything other than that was one of the most insane things I've ever seen. And that's Bills fan or not. I don't care. The fact that you're a Bills fan and that we're a Bills fan on the end of this just makes it that much more insane. But even if you were Joe down the block, who's a big Raiders fan, you're watching that game and you're thinking, I just witnessed all-time stuff tonight in a multitude of different ways, mind you. You really couldn't define which historic thing stood out the most tonight because collectively it was all over the board.
All over the board. I'll tell you right now, if any Ravens fans that are in this chat, salute to y'all. I see we got guys, we have over 3,000 of you guys watching right now.
Crazy.
Do me a favor, smash that like. Even if you're a Ravens fan, smash that like because you're angry. Smash that like because that was a game to watch tonight. Now, I will say this: if you're a Ravens fan, hug a Ravens fan right now. If you're not a Ravens fan, hug a Ravens fan because there's a dude that I follow on social. I think we all follow Butter. There's a dude named Butter, a Ravens guy. He was talking major grease. He was greasy talking today. Not a peep from my guy. He's still Ravens fan. You guys are still settling. I mean, the fact that you sat there and watched with a Ravens fan next to you, Bot, kudos to you. I had a buddy of mine that's in my fantasy, and the whole night he was like, man, this is the best I feel about the Ravens this year. This is the best we've looked. This is the best we've heard about. This is the best. He was sick. He gave me 3 letters, WOW, and signed off. Wow. He was out. I feel for you guys. It's tough. We've been on that side. We happen to be on this side this time. But it's only week 1, folks. It's only week 1. Let's soak this in and appreciate it.
Guys, I mean, as I sit here, there are things that are hitting me. I was telling Rico earlier, and I talked to my dad on the phone before this. It was such an insane ride. I have mentally forgotten I need to probably go rewatch this instantaneously when we're done tonight. I have forgotten what we witnessed. But you want to know what just hit me? that even allowed us to get to this point. And we'll talk about the ineptitude that also allowed the Bills to get to this point. We'll talk about that later in the show. I want to make sure we touch every base of greatness before we get into what led to the Bills allowing 40 and allowing themselves to get into the hole that they did. Here's something that just hit me, though, Rico, while you were chatting.
Yep.
Bills aren't even in position to kick that field goal if they don't get the second added on the clock prior to half, with Josh Allen hitting Kincaid on that bomb and then Matt Prater coming in and making that field goal. Now, I get it. You could say, oh, the Bills were they were in a position to score a touchdown. You don't know what would have happened. You don't know. The Bills got in position because they knew they needed a field goal. You don't know how the game changes if they needed a touchdown there. You just don't. The fact the Bills were able to allow themselves to be in position to kick a field goal and win it as time expired is because Matt Prater also hit a field goal as time expired prior to half and I don't know if you guys really analyzed when they added that second. When I tell you it was a millisecond difference, between that half ending and them going out there, Rico, that just hit me. That doesn't happen. Maybe we're on here just bitching and moaning about that loss. How big was that? And this is when you know the game was insane, Rico. I completely forgot that even happened.
Listen, let me tell you, there many things in this game you could point to where Josh sees something in the offense. He goes, check. He checks to it. He puts James Cook on his right side. James Cook takes it for 50 plus yards, gives us more juice. Then you have a batted ball between two players and Keon Coleman comes up with it in the end zone. Those things don't usually happen in that case.
I forgot about that. Oh.
Let me remind you of this. Ball goes down the seam. I see a number 8. And I'm thinking, oh, there goes Kincaid with a big-time reception down the stretch. What? Jackson Hawes, the third-string tight end, rookie, making a big bobbled catch and brings it in? Folks, how do you not love this game? I love this game, man.
How do you not?
You gotta love it. You gotta love it. Now,
all right. I'm trying to think of how we can keep ourselves structured here, but I don't know if we can. I mean, we might just need to keep bouncing shit off of each other because I don't know.
No. We're gonna keep it structured by saying let's talk about the things that you liked, other than how we just explained it, and who stood out for you. Let's say who stood out for you on the offensive side of the ball. Obviously, not Josh Allen. We know Josh is Josh, and this goes for the chat. Who stood out to you that you were kind of like, either I need to see more of that, or were you surprised by anybody on offense? The old line that surprised you? What stood out to you offensively?
Deion Dawkins said not all that long ago, look out, NFL. There's a new version of Keon Coleman coming to town. Rico, you touched on it on Friday night show. Rico, you touched on it in the pregame. Is this going to be the night that Keon Coleman rises to the occasion? Is this going to be the night that Keon Coleman, under the lights, is going to cement himself as a wide receiver 1? The Buffalo Bills do not win that game tonight without the performance of Keon Coleman, who leads the way with 8 catches, 112 yards, and one of the most improbable touchdown catches you'll see all season. A tipped ball that finds its way to him, the ability to track that thing, the ability to not give up on the play, secure that ball. Keon Coleman, multiple catches along the sideline, go up and get it, which they drafted him to do. Keon Coleman was the X factor tonight for Josh Allen when nobody else could get open, when we don't know if Khalil Shakir is a full 100%, when the Bills needed a play, Keon Coleman was there in his second year. We've been waiting all offseason to see if Keon Coleman was going to make that ascension. We've been hearing how great he was in camp. Deion Dawkins has nothing but praise. We've heard things from Josh Allen. This is going to be a step forward. We got to see it. And it wasn't there early, right? You really, nobody was. In the first half, you're wondering who the hell even is playing receiver for Buffalo. You get into the second half, and Keon Coleman is Robin to Josh Allen's Batman in a variety of different circumstances. The Bills don't win that game without Keon Coleman tonight, and you saw the ascension of a potential superstar for Josh Allen. Now, I'm not going to say one game is going to completely cement him as the guy, But look we've been waiting all offseason to see if he even had the capabilities of being the guy. And he was tonight against a stout defense, against maybe the best team in the league, one of at least, and in a situation where the pressure could not have been higher. Keon Coleman stepped up, balled out, and was one of the main reasons this Buffalo Bills offense was able to make that comeback, Rico.
Did Keon establish himself as Josh's go-to receiver today? And I think he answered the bell absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, today Keon Coleman, although started off slow, but we knew that something was brewing. Something was brewing with him, and he kind of caught on and caught fire with Josh last year, but he was derailed by the injury. So let's not forget that they've been building this thing. And today, it was almost as if a star was born in front of the NFL today to show you, guys, Diggs is an afterthought. We understand that. We got rid of Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper came in. He's retired now, right? We had a guy that was on the brink of retirement. He's gone now. Keon needed to step up, and he did. I tweeted today. One of these guys has to step up. At one point, I think we were late in the third, almost going into the fourth, and each Palmer and Keon had one reception with 3 targets. Keon Coleman ended the game with over 100 yards with 8 receptions and a touchdown. Folks, did we find our receiver one, and will we see more from those two going at it? Love to see what Keon Coleman did, but I'm not going to stick with Keon. I love that you went with Keon, who stood out to you. I got to go and give some love to Kincaid. Although it wasn't much, but I needed to see it in crunch time. When I need you, you show up. That freaking laser of a pass that Josh threw to Kincaid in the first drive, right between the numbers in that end zone, that showed me, okay, they're working on something. You may not have seen so much more of them together in this game, but it's brewing, and it's going to get better. So with Keon rising, Kincaid having a big year to prove himself, and you've got all the other working pieces around this offense, folks, although this wasn't a pretty game in terms of what we had to give up, in terms of 40 points be put on us, but it was good to see that this offense continue to put points on the board. Let's not forget, last year they had 8 straight games of putting over 30 points a game. It starts off with putting 41. This offense is going to be right where they need to be. We just need the defense to catch up, and hopefully we will. And we will talk about this defense, folks. We will. But right now, I want to highlight that this offense looked good. Kincaid did his part. Keon did his part. James Cook did his part. The newly freshly paid James Cook. O-line looked intact. Folks, this is gonna work out. This is gonna work out. Now, I do have one little thing I gotta bring up though. Joe Brady was a little annoying me a little bit.
You want to get into it?
He was irritating me just a little bit. He did it last year with these freaking screens, but it wasn't just about the screens. It was who he was giving the screens to. Tight ends, giving it to Dawson Knox, and I love Dawson. We love Dawson. Giving it to Kincaid. Listen, you give it to the guys that can make things happen in space. I don't get it. Joe Brady, I mean, he's the offensive coordinator. He's doing what he does, but I was getting a little bit of irritation with how he was moving the football and what plays he was calling. And it was irritating me, but we prevailed. We got the dub. Love to see it. Offense looks good, and I want to see more of that. But man, what a way to really showcase your receiver in Keon Coleman. We've been talking about it. Dion talked about it. You alluded to it. Fantastic job. Love to see it. How
insane is it that this was not a good day, in my opinion, for Joe Brady, and the Buffalo Bills score 41 points.
Crazy,
Josh
right?
Allen has nearly 400 yards. There were some moments from Joe Brady where I was really left scratching my head. Once I saw yet another screen pass, I just didn't, to open the game especially too, there was just so much of it. And it wasn't like Josh Allen early was taking the under route just because it was the only thing there. These were design screens, and they were just coming rapidly, like to the point where I just was wondering if he had forgotten the rest of his play sheet, because the amount of times they were running this, and like you mentioned, to who they were running them to. I mean, the amount of times that there were design looks to Cook off the side, then you're looking at getting the tight ends involved on the side, and then the play calling on the 2-point conversions, and we'll talk about that later.
We will.
Listen, I am never the one. I think one of the worst plays you can run in a do or die situation where you need to get in the end zone is a back corner fade. It is the lowest probability out of any play, in my opinion, to have go your way. I don't understand in a must-have single situation play running a corner fade. I don't understand going empty gun when you're on the inch line, when you have Josh Allen, who's as big of a bodied quarterback as we've ever seen. I didn't understand the 2-point conversion play calling at all. And it was almost what did them in, because they were 0 for 3 on those plays, Rico. And really looking back on it, how many different times would we have looked back if they had lost that game and said, if they could have just gotten one of them, maybe this is a different story. And not for anything else, the fact that they even went for it in the first place really left me scratching my head, because it was not necessary at the time. And I get it. Oh, if they would have gotten it by, you would have been all over it. Yeah, no kidding. But when you think about it, even at the time, the Bills were struggling to get momentum that entire game. They had just scored to cut the lead down. Why tinker with the momentum you were just grasping at? Why would you mess with what you have just done? But here's the thing that pissed me off the most about that, Rico. The only reason you go for 2 there is because you're now on the inch line. The reason you didn't go for 2 in the first place is because you're backed up. That's why everybody kicks the extra point.
Right.
The reason you even think about going for it in that situation, attempt to go for it, is because you're now on the inch line. So why would you run empty gun on the inch line? You could run that at any other time going for 2. You QB sneak it or you run it there. That's why you were going for it in the first place. That blew my mind. And ultimately, Rico, that really could have been what did him in.
Dude, you got a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback with we got Spencer Brown, you got Deion Dawkins, you got Connor McGovern. Fam, you got some hoggies on that line. Push that tush and get in that freaking end zone, right? Push that tush. But anyway, it is what it is at the end of the day. But I'm so glad that you brought that up, because Joe Brady, crazy that we're talking about Joe Brady. We put 41 points up. It's crazy to me. We talked about the offense, and I was asking about this offense, but there's a play I just can't shake, right? And offensively, and I got to show it to you. This play right here, folks. I could not freaking believable, ladies and gentlemen. I was, when that play happened, I was like, all right, it's happening. It's happening right now. We're going to make it happen. Let's roll.
And then he hit Coleman down the middle right afterwards. Right after. And
ladies and gentlemen, this doesn't happen. And you were talking about, all right, you forgot about the 1 second. The Ravens missed a extra point.
Oh, yeah.
That extra point, it wasn't something that I was paying attention to, but I was in the back of my mind. I was like, oh, they missed an extra point. Hopefully that helps us. It was the determining factor.
You know what I said in the moment? Because they were down 2 scores, right, at that time.
Yep.
Because they missed the 2-point conversion. And Derrick Henry, that was when he took the ball down the side of the field right after Lamar Jackson converted that insane 3rd down, right? But I looked at everybody next to me and I said, even though I thought the Bills were going to lose at the time, I said, you know what's funny about that is that it really doesn't matter, because the Bills were down 2 scores anyways. The fact that they scored that touchdown and didn't get the extra point still made it a 2-score game.
Absolutely.
Little did I know that was actually going to matter. At the time, I just laughed it off. I thought, I guess it doesn't really matter, even though they just got gashed down the sideline. It's not going to matter because the Bills are getting cooked right now. It wound up being everything. If he doesn't shank that off the upright there, we could be talking about a whole different outcome.
A whole different outcome. And that's why you play to win the game, and you play every freaking snap there is, because everything matters. So offensively, 41 points. I mean, how could you fault this offense? And we could be better. And the worst part, the crazy part is we could be better. And we put up 41 points. This is a dangerous offense. Kudos to McDermott. Kudos to Joe Brady. Kudos to rallying these guys and not letting them quit and fulfilling it and coming through with a dub. Big time win for the Bills today.
Let me ask you about the offense in terms of what they can improve on. Thoughts on the offensive line play today? Because that was not the offensive line that I've come to know and love with these Buffalo Bills.
I mean, I'm gonna give them a little bit of grace, and I'll tell you why. Because you're going up against the Baltimore Ravens. You have there's 2 factors that you have to really factor in here. It's the Baltimore Ravens, Sunday night, rah, all that good stuff. They're pissed. They were coming out to really silence Josh Allen and this offense. So they were going to do everything they can to really put the extra mustard on everything they put on us. So were we going to have some jitters and were we going to have some blunders here and there? Absolutely. But for the most part, I thought that we handled ourselves well. We just had to just settle down. I think we just weren't settled enough. And the minute we settled down, we got in our groove and we figured it out. Because I think Collinsworth kept on saying this, and I was like, man, he might be onto something. When he was like, Josh keeps rushing the throws. He keeps taking the underneath. The Ravens are taking everything from them. And he's like, they're not coming as hard as Josh thinks they are. So if he just takes his time and can really go through his progressions, you'll start to see a lot better. Collinsworth was reading it, and that's exactly what took place. Brady and Josh made some adjustments. They had time, and now you can start seeing them deliver the football beyond the sticks. Thus, why Josh Allen had 300 yards of total offense and a touchdown and 3 touchdowns, because he took his time. I know, Cody, I know, pause. I know. That's my second offense this week.
I didn't even catch it.
You didn't catch it. The guy caught it, but Cody caught it. So the point I'm trying to make is, folks, when you have a guy like Josh, everything's on the line. And everything is in front of you, and you can still make things happen. And you love to see it. You love to see it. I'm excited. And I haven't watched any of the conferences. I'm going to be excited to watch the conferences. What a week is going to be, just to kind of discuss what's taking place and how. And here's a question for the chat: did the Ravens lose this game, or did the Bills win this game? And it sounds like a elementary question, but really. Or did the Bills legitimately win this game? Or did the Ravens give it away? Did they lose this game? I'd like to know that, because I honestly think the Bills won this game, because they had to come. They stayed with it. They always stayed within the game. They didn't do any gimmicks. They didn't do any crazy. They just took what the defense gave them and they converted. And the way I look at it is the Bills won this game. But some folks are saying that the Ravens lost it. So I'd love to know what your thoughts are. Did the Ravens lose this game, or did the Bills win it?
I think we could argue both, and we could talk about how the Ravens could have won it. My dad just sent me something to add to the list of insanity that was within this game. We've been talking about all the crazy stuff that's happened. My dad screenshotted the game-winning field goal. I don't know if anybody has seen this. He circled it. That's the ball, and it goes right between the hands of a Ravens defender. I mean, folks, this game literally came down to inches at numerous times. But look at that. I mean, I can't even get over that. Inches. It's within it. So really, when we're talking about, we're talking about who won, who lost here. I think that there's a healthy amount on the back of the Baltimore Ravens here in terms of losing this game. I mean, you have 173 rush yards from Derrick Henry, averaging 10 yards a carry. You have Lamar Jackson basically playing perfect football the entire night, making insane plays. I mean, you want to add one more thing that we've already forgotten: DeAndre Hopkins with maybe the catch of the year already, one-handed touchdown, all of these things. And
what a game,
dude!
What a game!
Like I said, it's not just I want to go rewatch it for fun. It's a requirement to have to go back and rewatch that. But look, the plays the Bills made, they weren't gifted to them. Like, you could say, Derrick Henry fumbled. No. Ed Oliver made Derrick Henry fumble. He didn't run into a wall and drop it. Like, we can go back to the divisional game last year against Baltimore. Von Miller gets on Lamar Jackson. He just really kind of dropped the ball. Remember when he dropped it and they picked it up and ran it? Ed Oliver made a massive play. We'll talk about the defense in a second. But,
Absolutely.
You're talking about whether they won it or lost it. I think that there's arguments on both sides, but here's why I think the Bills won that game more than the Ravens lost it. Even though the Bills, for a good chunk of that game, did not play well, they did what they had to do to never get fully buried. They never went away. This is why I think the Bills won it. The Ravens didn't gift this to them. They stayed they stayed the course the entire game. And then when they were given opportunities, when they forced the fumble, they immediately score a touchdown. When they do get the ball back to go and win it, they go down the field and win it. I mean, listen, the Bills against the Chiefs last year in the AFC Championship, they got the ball back with an opportunity to go down and tie it, and they did not take advantage. They did not do it. They did it tonight. The opportunities the Bills were given, they capitalized on almost every single one of them. And this is why I think the Bills won this game tonight. They scored 41 points. They didn't luck into some BS win, 27-26 in a barn burner. They scored 41 points. I mean, this offense did unreal things down the stretch. The Bills earned this win. As much as they would have earned the loss had it have been on the wrong side, they earned the victory. You could make certain arguments as to why the Ravens lost it. And I want to get your opinion on this. And I think this is something that's worth discussion. And I bet you that Ravens fans might be having this discussion. It was brought up on the broadcast. The Ravens are in a 4th and 1 situation before punting it.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you brought that up because that was going to be my next thing that I want to bring up. Go on.
All right. So let's just repaint the picture, because if you're like us, clearly we are continuously having memories of this game be brought back to us because of the amount of insanity. So it's at the end of the game here. You have been dominating the line of scrimmage the entire game. Lamar Jackson has been able to run the option, like the option run game in this game. They were biting on it all the time. So like they had that in their bag. Derrick Henry was running for 10 yards a clip. They had that in their bag, right? You could make a really solid argument that the Ravens were far more conservative on that final drive than maybe they should have been. And Collinsworth said it. He goes, Bills defense hasn't been able to stop the Ravens. Here's the thing. The Ravens haven't been able to stop the Bills offense either. I mean, you might forget it because it hasn't been going their way tonight, but they can't stop them. So Rico, I got to tell you this, when I saw and this is how you know as a opposing fan that maybe they didn't make the right decision. When I saw Harbaugh trot the punter out there, I couldn't have been more relieved. I couldn't have been more like, oh my God, they actually have a chance. Okay. If they would have sent Lamar and Derrick Henry out there, Rico, I would have said to everybody around me, good luck, because I don't see them stopping them on a 4th and short situation. No chance.
Ravens fans, what are you thinking about your head coach? Think about it. Well, my man Bot just mentioned, you guys were running the football. Dude, 230 yards of rushing on us. I think it was more than that, actually. Derrick Henry, 169 yards rushing. You guys are dominating. You have a quarterback that's rushed for 70 years. He's the best rushing quarterback that's going to grace this field. It's 4th and 3. I'm thinking they're going for it. And this is what's going to break our heart, because he scrambled away from Greg Rousseau and Joey Bosa to get a first down. He needs measly 3 yards. Oh, they're going to break our backs and going to go for it. Hold on a second. They're bringing the punt team out. Then I'm like, no. I can't let myself get to that. Fake punt. It's coming up. They're about to do a fake punt. Then I saw thud. I was like, oh no, you just gave Josh Allen the ball with a chance to win the game. Harbaugh, you messed up. You did the McDermott thing, the conservative thing. McDermott, with those conservative play calls, are done. He doesn't do that anymore. He's more of the guy that will go for it. Now, he has his blunders where he decided to do a fake punt to DeMar Hamlin, of all people, but he's telling us that gone are the days that I'm going to be conservative. Harbaugh. Josh Allen is a shark in water, and he smells blood. And you give him back the ball? Shame on Harbaugh. Ravens fans, y'all got to be mad at Harbaugh, because I would, if let me reverse it. If the Bills are in that position to ice the game and put the Ravens away, you don't think that McDermott is going to say, Josh, I trust you, go and get it? Where's the trust?
We got to confirm how short that. I'm going to confirm right now how short that 4th was. I got to confirm on that.
4th and 3.
I think it was shorter than that.
It may have been, but where's the trust? McDermott, I 100%, I can guarantee you, he would have trusted Joe Brady and Josh Allen and say, go get it. Get this game for me and let's ice it. Bam. Harbaugh, where's the trust in your quarterback? Where's the trust in your running back? Where's the trust in your offense? You failed your team, bro. You failed your team. You went conservative and you deserve that L. So I asked the question again. Did the Bills win this game or did the Ravens lose it? Fam, we won that bitch. We won that. I don't want to cuss, but we won that thing. Shame on Harbaugh, man. If I'm a Ravens fan, I'm vexed. I'm upset. You don't trust the 2-time MVP with 4th and 3, and you have a big-time competitor on the other side of the football. You don't want to give back the ball to Josh. Ice them out. Nah, bro. You messed up. You done messed up, kid. You done messed up.
I'm confirming right now. I'm confirming the length. Rico, you were spot on. Okay, so listen. I thought it was 4th and 1. That's on me. It was 4th and 3. I just confirmed. It does make it a more dicey. I mean, 4th and 3 is not 4th and 1, right? So I'm looking at this.
4th and 3 with Lamar Jackson. is like 4th and 1.
And this is the key. They were averaging 10 yards a carry. So look, once again, the only way I can explain this, as an opposing fan, the fact that I was relieved that you sent your punter out there, even though it was 4th and 3, the fact that I was relieved. And here's the other thing. When they punted it, right, there's a minute and a half left. The Ravens have all their timeouts. If you're confident in your defense getting a stop, maybe you go for it regardless. And if you don't get it, you try to hold the Bills to a field goal and then go down and try to kick one of your own. I don't know. Sure. All I can speak to is how I felt during the situation. And when I saw them trot the punter out there, I couldn't have been more relieved. If they would have ran Derrick Henry out there with the opportunity, of course, to play action to him and let Lamar roll around like he had been doing all night. Listen, at the end of the day, what do I think if I'm Harbaugh? What chance do I have? Or what's my better play here? 3 yards with a Hall of Fame running back and a Hall of Fame quarterback who's an all-time running quarterback, or stopping Josh Allen needing to get 50 yards within a minute and a half. I don't know. I think that there's certainly a discussion there, Rico. It would have been risky, but I think that there's a discussion there.
There's certainly a discussion. And there are times where coaches lose the game for you, or they make a crucial decision that alters this game. And I think although the Bills won this game, but that decision is going to haunt Harbaugh. He got to trust your guy. Trust your guy. You decided to trust your defense to stop the red hot, motivated, hungry Allen. We've seen what Allen looks like when he smells blood in the water. We've seen it. Go back to that 13-second game, right? You saw, let's go. You've seen it. We've seen it time and time before because this guy is a killer. And you allowed the ball back to go back to Josh, bro. That's on coaching, and coaching does matter. And I think Harbaugh let his team down by not going for it and trying to take away. And if your guy doesn't get it, at least you fall on the sword of saying, I trust my guy to go get it. And you didn't. You trusted special teams and your defense, and they failed you. They didn't let you. They let you down. That's how I look at it.
Speaking of special teams, the Bills trusted their special teams tonight. And I mean,
nice
Rico,
segue.
What more can you say? Matt Prater. I mean, this guy, I've said it 1,000 times, 2007 is when he takes his first NFL kick. Folks, it's 2025. Tyler Bass is on IR. Here comes Matt Prater. Doesn't know the Bills from the Bengals. You know, I mean, he's off the couch. He's in Buffalo. You trot him out before half with a second left that you miraculously got put back on the clock. You nail it. Then you run the fire drill. You come out, and like you mentioned earlier, you perfectly time that fire drill field goal so that there's not a second left. Oh, yeah. It's snapped. It's held. The kick is up. Matt Prater wasn't a Buffalo Bill. Him and I had as much affiliation with being a Buffalo Bill on the roster 10 days ago. And here he is out on the field in a massive moment. And he kicks it through the uprights. Rico, mind you, Matt Prater at the end of the game, every end of the game, the reporter speaks to the players of the game. And you had your choices, of course, in this game. But who was alongside Josh Allen in the postgame? Matt Prater. Would you have thought Matt Prater is alongside Josh Allen postgame getting interviewed in terms of their impact on the game? What were your thoughts on that guy being the unsung hero that nobody expected against the Baltimore Ravens tonight?
Let me tell you this, though. We potentially don't get a Matt Prater game-winning field goal if Keon Coleman doesn't get tripped up by Jair Alexander. Because if Keon goes in and goes for the go-ahead touchdown, there's a lot more time on the clock for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens to try to muster some kind of comeback. But the fact that he got tripped up gave us time to kind of set ourselves up for this field goal. It's just little things upon little things happening. The missed extra point from the Ravens, the almost blocking the field goal with just an inch away. It's a game of inches. It's a game of inches. You got to love it. Golly.
Yeah, because if the Bills score a touchdown on that Coleman catch, or if they were to have tried and gone and scored a touchdown, I mean, who knows? The way that they were, how many times tonight, Rico, did the Ravens just go from the Bills, their end of the field to the Bills' end of the field within a millisecond? I mean, it had to have happened on 5 or 6 different drives where they were on their own end of the field, Here's a little dump to Zay Flowers. Here's a handoff to Derrick Henry. Oh, now we're in field goal range. So if they would have gotten the ball back with 45 seconds, I mean, you would have been pacing like you were running the pacer test back in 5th grade. I mean, that's what you would have been doing. So like you just said, like all the little things that had to occur down the stretch that had to go right for Buffalo. And listen, how many times have we hopped on here? What an unbelievable game. Bills once again on the wrong side of it. This is the telltale. This is the basically the definition of the Buffalo Bills would be insane game, insert Bills loss here. The amount of times the Bills have been on the wrong end of the most insane, memorable, historic, incredible games. The laundry list is beyond a laundry list. You could probably write a book about it. The Bills were on the right end of this tonight in the most improbable way. Out of all the games the Bills have lost that were truly just genuine heartbreakers, all-time games, this was maybe the most improbable situation they've been put in, that they somehow found a way to be on the right end of it. I mean, it was just incredible. They're always on the wrong end of these things, Rico, and here they are on the right end for once.
On the right end for once. And for those that do play fantasy football and do all those things, if you had Josh Allen as your quarterback, how about them Bills? Because I'll tell you right now, I had him on my fantasy team, and I couldn't have asked for a better start to the season, and I couldn't have asked for a better decision on grabbing that dub today. The dub was already in the bag, but it was nice to have that done. So really, really good to have and go from there. Folks, we've talked about the offense. We talked a little bit about special teams. We talked about all the good that we saw today. And there are going to be some good that we will discuss. But are you good with switching over to the defense side of the ball?
Let's do it.
Let's switch over to the defense side of the ball, because, folks, I think we are all aware that allowing 40 points is not something that's going to allow you to be a contender to win the championship. You can't sit here and put the pressure on the offense and put pressure on Josh Allen and James Cook to put up 40 points a game to win the game. Bro, there's going to be games where the offense is just not there. Y'all got to step up. Today, I understand it's the Ravens. I understand. But you can't allow these guys to march. At one point, they didn't punt at all.
Nope.
At one point, they were just marching up the field and doing what they wanted when they wanted. There was a moment that we needed to step up and get the job done. And here we are. I'm glad that this defense got the job done. There was a lot of bending but not breaking. And it's been a McDermott. I guess just describing McDermott's defense is very much a bend but don't break. But boy, were we very close to breaking today. And there were some moments that took place that allowed us to be there. None other than the biggest play of the game, Ed Oliver coming through. Now, before I even get that clip going, what did Ed Oliver mean to you in this game?
Ed Oliver was the single defensive player that stood out amongst the rest. He was the guy that felt like he had the biggest hand in making a difference defensively in this football game. He made multiple different plays. He was able to get after Lamar Jackson a couple of times, and he made the play that was the ultimate difference maker. He forces the fumble on Derrick Henry that gets the Bills the ball back to go down and score. If he doesn't force that fumble, the Bills lose this game 100%. If he does not make that play, the Bills lose. And here's the funny thing. We go back to last year, the bend but don't break Buffalo Bills defense. They essentially got shattered tonight. I mean, to say that they didn't break would be inaccurate. Here's what the Buffalo Bills defense allowed tonight. 40 points, 175 yards from Derrick Henry, a career high for Zay Flowers in receiving before the end of the third quarter, nearly 10 yards per play. The amount of highlight reel plays they allowed, the Lamar Jackson escape sack, the one-handed catch from, of course, DeAndre Hopkins, the amount of 30-yard runs Derrick Henry had. Derrick Henry had 3 30-yard plus runs in this game, That's the crazy. Most in a single game in his entire career, and he has had a Hall of Fame career. I say all this to say, at the end of the day, the Bills have been relying on what with this defense? What's one thing that they have been constantly relying on? Taking the ball away. The Bills did not turn it over. The Baltimore Ravens did. And so many times during the Josh Allen era, the Bills defense has given up, tons of yards, tons of points, whatever. But they'll make a play or two that allowed the offense to go and win it. This is what happens when you have an all-time quarterback. The Bills do not have an all-time defense, not even close to it. And tonight, when they were getting carved, getting shredded, they made the play when they needed to the most, and it was the absolute difference maker. And as you see on your screen, I mean, if you don't make this play, the Bills don't have a prayer in winning this football game. So shout out to Ed Oliver. Multiple big plays in this game, but none bigger than that one. He is the MVP of the Buffalo Bills defense tonight. No question about it.
You couldn't have said it better. MVP of tonight's football game. I'll tell you right now, we've been watching Ed for years now. When he was a first-round draft pick, he was the top 10 pick of the Bills when TJ Hawkinson was right there for us to take. But we like our guy, Ed Oliver. This is the best game I've ever seen Ed Oliver play. Hands down. He was everywhere. He was pursuing Lamar Jackson. He was sacking Lamar Jackson. He was stopping Derrick Henry in the backfield. Not only was he doing those things, this guy forces the biggest fumble of his career. The biggest fumble of his career, and has his Buffalo Bills rally around that football. Edward freaking Oliver. Edward freaking Oliver was absolutely sensational today. And he earned, I mean, we talked about his contract, and I don't know if he earned that money, or, oh, what a great contract it was. Listen, he earned every single penny today. He was a man possessed. He was the player that I envisioned that Ed Oliver would be when we drafted him with a top 10 pick. He was that tonight. That's how good Ed Oliver was. And he gave us that game. Yep. He got us the ball back. He knows the bull that we have at quarterback. He's like, if someone's going to make a play, it's going to be me. And that's how he did it. Squirm right through that line. And here's the thing. Derrick Henry has got those long arms to stiff arm. But the fact that is he stuck his arm out to stiff arm in front. Ed Oliver was now buying it. 280, 200, 290 pounds. You ain't just going to push me around like that. Give me that rock. And away we go. Big shout out to Ed Oliver. He really came through and really put a huge play and give it back to the offense. And that's what we do. Like you said, what do we do best? Is take the football away. Give it back to Josh, and Josh is going to get you into the end zone. And that's exactly what took place. I love it. Ed Oliver came through in a big way, but we can talk about the good things that Ed Oliver did, but we can have to talk about this defense in total. I mean, where do you begin? Let's talk about this defensive backfield. Bishop, Taylor, Rapp. I mean, let's not pinpoint this whole defense. Like you said it earlier, 3 runs of 30+ yards. Now, is that an anomaly, or is that something that this defense should expect going forward when we play a lot of these tough runners? Because we just faced Derrick Henry. We're gonna face Bijan Robinson. We're gonna face Breece Hall. We're gonna face Travion Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson from obviously the Patriots. We're gonna face Chase Brown and the Bengals. Like we're gonna be facing some good backs. Was this an anomaly, or is this something that no, we're much better than what we showed today, but it's just Derrick Henry? What do you do with Derrick Henry? He does it to everybody, or is it just to us? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a mix of both. I think Derrick Henry has shown that he has the capabilities of really going off against this team. He's done it multiple times. This is now the 3rd time against the Bills that he's had 140+ yards. So you can't say that it doesn't factor in to what happened tonight, the fact that it was Derrick Henry. But the Bills defense showed me nothing tonight to make me confident in their ability to stop any prominent running back moving forward. I mean, this Bills defense, this was abysmal tonight. There's no other way to put it. They allowed 40 points. They made the play when it mattered most. They got a couple of stops when it did matter most. You got to tip the cap. Bend but don't break. I mean, they were down to their last thread before completely breaking. They did get it done when it mattered most, but in totality, this was a poor effort from top to bottom. They were getting eviscerated at the line of scrimmage, just dominated. Derrick Henry carried it 18 times and he averaged 10 yards a carry. Do you know how insane that is? I mean, that is just diabolical. You also factor in the inability to contain Lamar Jackson when they did design rushes for him. early on, I thought Joey Bosa came around and had a good game by the end of it. I thought he showed some promise. But there were times early on where he bit on every single fake that Lamar Jackson threw. I mean, Lamar Jackson, Rico, he only ran the ball 6 times in this game and he had 70 yards. So, you're looking at 70 yards on 6 carries for Lamar. That's 12 yards a carry. You're looking at 18 carries for Derrick Henry. That's almost 10 yards a carry plus 2 touchdowns. And that's just the tip of the iceberg because you have Zay Flowers have a career day receiving. He had 143 receiving yards, Rico. He was averaging 20 yards a catch. This secondary could not get their arms around Derrick Henry. I know it's like tackling a human refrigerator, but I'm not the one getting paid. I'm not the one in the NFL getting paid millions of dollars to tackle that human refrigerator. I know it's easier said than done, but there just was a blatant inability to do it. There was a time in which they sent Cole Bishop on a blitz. I saw a stat from ESPN's NFL stats and info. Just to give you an example of some of the moments in this game from the defense that just made absolutely no sense to me. When we're looking at that particular play that wound up resulting in a massive gain for Zay Flowers down the middle. I mean, it was just a huge pitch and catch that allowed the Ravens to go down and score. According to ESPN Next Gen Stats, Cole Bishop was 13 yards away from the line of scrimmage when the ball was snapped before blitzing. It was the deepest blitz over the last 5 seasons. So there were just moments in this game that had you really scratching your head. My biggest issue of all of it, Rico, was how easy everything came to Baltimore. Everything was so easy. Whether it was a run for Derrick Henry, boom, there's 30 yards. Or how many times did they just dump it off to Zay Flowers? Oh, all of a sudden they're in scoring territory. Everything was easy. What makes this win even more insane is that everything for the Bills offense was insanely difficult. They had to earn everything. It felt like the Bills defense paved the way for the Ravens offense to do whatever they wanted. It was I know it's so like the Bills won the game. It's hard to sit here right now after a win like that and be negative. But we were an inch away in a million different ways from sitting on here right now and probably having a 2-hour discussion about how bad that defense looked tonight. That was a concerning outing for the Buffalo Bills defense tonight. And one more thing to add, Rico, that was a defense I was really excited to watch going into the game based on the additions made this offseason and just based on how I felt they would come into it, off of a year where they were certainly criticized for their inability to stop the Chiefs in a season where the Chiefs were not scoring points against really anybody.
Yeah.
This was a rough outing for the Buffalo Bills defense. There's no question about it.
All right. I'm going to try to it's tough because you laid it out so well and there's not a whole lot. It's just one of those, it was just chalk it up to one of those days. But then I'm thinking, you said it. There's only 2 players, 3, if you count Lamar Jackson, that were the problem. And if you think about it, I'm looking at the chunk plays that Zay Flowers was getting. It felt like broken plays. So
yeah,
if you can't remove, but if it's not like Lamar Jackson was dotting us all over the place.
Right.
His best receiver was Zay Flowers, and he had a great catch and throw, obviously from D-Hop, but D-Hop is D-Hop. Other than that, it was Derrick Henry show and chunk plays given up by this defense to Zay Flowers. Now, do you chalk it up to this defense is just terrible and this is what we're going to expect all year? I don't think so. It's just this matchup that we have with this team. It's like you're going to have to almost give up the big chunk plays in order to get the end result, which is the win. Whether that makes sense, I'm trying to find ways that I can give some grace to this defense. But is it an anomaly? Allowing Derrick Henry to run for 30 plus run, that's not normal.
Well, it's not an anomaly because we saw him do the exact same thing a year ago, almost to the date.
I guess that's the thing. I guess it just sickens me. It's just when you see this happen, and I'm trying to give some grace to the defense, it's just you can't keep doing this. McDermott, figure something out, man. This is way too early for your defense to be looking like this. But we didn't look great either when we played the Cardinals week 1 last year. So maybe it's just people settling down. Like Joey Bosa was biting on everything until he realized, wait a second now, let me slow down and become the Pro Bowler that I once was, an All-Pro that I once was, and then he kind of got a feel of this defense. So sometimes it's just getting a feel of the game, getting a feel of where things are going and settling in. I think we started to settle in somewhat in the second half, and then things start to change for the better. I mean, think about it. Once we got really started, we started making stops. We started making stops against this team, and then that's when you started to see momentum switch. That big third down, I think it was Matt Milano in coverage. Who was it that was in coverage that stopped that third down that forced them into that 4th and 3? I don't know who made that tackle. I thought it was Milano, or was it Taylor? I can't recall. But we started to make plays near the end. So I'm giving them a little grace. I want to see what it looks like with who got. We got the Jets next week.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see what it looks like against the Jets. I mean, the Lamar gives us issues, but Breece Hall is not Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry is 6'3", 250 pounds. That is not normal. That is not normal. Like, your running backs typically are usually like 5'9", 5'10", 5'11", 210, 215. You know what I'm saying? But like 6'3", 250? What are you, Brandon Jacobs? That's insane. That's huge. So I give him a little grace, but it doesn't look good. Giving up 40 points, giving up all those chunk plays, he can't do that. That means we're not disciplined? Are we not knowing what we're supposed to be? Mind you, we started a rookie corner. We have Cole Bishop that we had some question marks with. So we've got to get better on that. So maybe I'm giving them too much grace. They don't deserve it. But we just can't let that shit happen again next week, because that's going to be a problem. It's going to be a big problem.
Here's the reality. We wouldn't be giving them an ounce of grace if they lost that game. I mean, this is just the fact.
There you go.
We wouldn't be giving them an ounce of grace. And I'm with you, Rico. I want to sit here and give them some grace, because there is grace to be had. They made a couple of massive plays when it mattered most that did end up resulting in helping the Bills win the game. So that's where the grace comes from. But if we're looking at a game on a scale of 0 to 100, that if we're talking about the full duration of the game being 100%, you would say 94% of that game was just bad by the Bills defense. Lamar Jackson had 209 yards, Rico, on 14 completions. Crazy. You look at the stat list. Zay Flowers had 7. So what does that mean? There were only 7 other receptions from the entirety of the Ravens offense outside of Zay Flowers, and he had 209 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And so of those really 209 yards, 143 of them came to Zay.
Right. So you're looking right. So exactly right. So it really came down to 3 guys that they could not find an answer for. 143 yards for Zay Flowers, which makes up more than or nearly 3/4 of Lamar Jackson's entire pass game tonight. And then you look at the rushing game. I mean, 238 rush yards, 70 yards for Lamar on just a couple of attempts, 10 yards per carry against Derrick Henry. I understand this matchup is insanely difficult. It's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. It's one of the best running backs of all time. And like you said, we're not going to see this week in and week out. The Bills aren't going to get carved like that because they're not going to play a team like that. But the inability to really show throughout the game any wherewithal of stopping those 3 guys. The broken plays, the way you framed it was perfect. It felt like every play was just a busted play. You get a couple of those a game. It felt like the Ravens were getting a couple of drive, and that was the problem. The back end too, that was the problem. You couldn't really pinpoint the exact issue because it was defense wide. It was the front of the D and it was the back of the D. It just really was a collective. I just can't believe they won this game. I really can't.
I will say this. I think it was Collinsworth that said it. And he goes, this was a case of the Bills had the better quarterback, but the Ravens have the better roster.
Totally.
And it answers the question, because there was a tweet that was put out there, and anonymous GMs were asked, if you were going to start a franchise today with a quarterback, who would your quarterback be? And surprisingly, the 2-time MVP was like not even top 5 of a quarterback that they would start their roster with. And Josh Allen and Joe Burrow and all these guys were up there, and they had my man at the bottom, like near 8, 9. So that's absolutely crazy to me. So they're dealing with the best roster, but we have a heck of a quarterback. So this is a call to McDermott. You saw what a good roster looks like, and you saw what your elite quarterback did to a very good roster. Would you step the freaking game up and get this guy a better roster on the defensive side of the ball? If you don't trust Cole Bishop, go find someone that's better than Cole Bishop. If you don't like what you have at the receiver position, you should have addressed that. Now, granted, these guys showed up near the end, but at the beginning, I was questioning. I have high hopes for Josh Palmer. I started questioning, like, yo, did we make the right decision by bringing this guy in and paying him that money? You sat Curtis Samuel, that you're paying this guy $8 million. Bro, make better decisions, Brandon Beane. If you can't, and we say this all the time, do not waste this talent that we have at quarterback by making him mask your inability to strengthen that defense. Stop that. Because there's going to come a point where he's going to be sick and tired and say, I'm out. Now, Josh doesn't give me the impression he'd ever do that. But if he gets sick and tired enough, he might say, I ain't doing this nothing more. I'm not doing this no more. Figure it out. So, Brandon, it's not too late. You have some things you got to do right now to fix this. And Lord knows, if Prater keeps kicking the way he's kicking and Tyler Bass comes back, oh, that's a whole nother ballgame. I ain't even gonna touch that. But it goes to tell you, this defense did not look good today. Josh Allen masked a lot of what, and this offense masked a lot of the defenses. And you said it best, man. If we lost this game, we wouldn't be trying to give these guys grace. We'd be lambasting them. So they've got to be better. They have to be better. And hopefully we see that next week against the Jets. Clean things up, and we'll see how that shakes out.
I don't think it's any slight at the Bills to say that you saw it tonight. There's just no question. The Ravens are the better team. It's just that I think that Josh Allen is just a slightly better quarterback than Lamar Jackson. And in these type of games, that matters. I just don't think it's really a debate. You saw it tonight. I just think that the Ravens were better in the majority of every category of this football game. I cannot believe the Buffalo Bills won this game. And it's due to the resilience. The one thing the Bills have that is better than maybe any other team in the league is the fight that they have within them. And this goes to the culture I speak on all the time. These guys never quit on McDermott or Allen. They never do. They always are given 110% on every snap, whether or not it goes their way or not. I mean, it's just, it really is an organization that constantly is giving their best effort, and they never shy away from, going forward throughout a football game, trying to win it, regardless of what the situation is. This is why this team, despite, having very few losses over the last couple of years, beyond that, this is why this team really never gets blown out. They could have easily gotten blown out tonight, Rico. If that defense or that team in totality, the Buffalo Bills could have just packed it up tonight. How many different moments in the game could the Bills have just packed it in? To be honest with you, I packed it in, and as a fan, I couldn't tell you how many times. It just felt like it was over. And, they kept referring to it on the broadcast. They kept saying how many people were leaving the stadium, which kind of shocked me.
Trying to get back in the game.
I know. Left the stadium. I saw some people comment earlier, they were turning the TV off. So it's not crazy to say that if the Bills packed it in tonight, it wouldn't have been the most insane thing in the world. You see it a lot where teams are like, you know what? It's just not our night. Pack it in. We're on to the Jets. That's not what happened. And they went the distance and they won the football game. The other thing, I keep seeing some points being made here too, and it's accurate. For as bad as the Bills defense played today, I know it doesn't feel this way because the Bills offense didn't make the type of plays the Ravens offense made, and they didn't have the type of individual performances, even though Allen had nearly 400 yards. So I guess I can't say that, but I guess it just didn't feel like it. I remember texting my dad saying, how the hell does Allen have 250 yards right now? It was going into the fourth, I think. I'm like, it doesn't even make any sense. They haven't done anything. You could also say, and this is, it's got to be a fact. How could it not? Ravens defense. I mean, all you had to do was make one stop at the end. You could argue they were as bad as Buffalo was tonight, and that's crazy to say because it just really felt like the Bills' defense wasn't there. But you blink, and guess what? The Ravens' defense allowed 41 points, and they didn't get a single stop when it mattered most.
Well, listen, I'll tell you this. When you're looking at what you just said, offense extremely did well, and the Ravens are supposed to be known to have a great defense. They talked about how stacked that defensive line is, how stacked that corner. They got Marlon Humphrey and they got Nate Wiggins, two top flex corners. You got Kyle Hamilton that just got was he one of the best or highest paid safeties in the game, and you have Malachi Starks, a safety that they drafted high in the draft. Like that team is Roquan Smith at the linebacker position. That team is legit, and they let these lowly Bills put up 497 yards of total offense. But here's what it comes down to. And both teams did relatively well, right? The Bills need to be better defensively, getting these guys off on third downs, right? These guys converted 6 for 11 on third down conversions. We've got to be better. Now, the Ravens allowed the Bills to convert 7 of 15, right? So those little things are factors that matter in this game. But at the end of the day, what matters most, and this McDermott Babbage defense is a very much bend but don't break. It's the single turnover. That one turnover changed everything. It changed everything. We were a little bit more disciplined for 5 penalties for 38 yards. The Ravens 7 for 51. It's the turnover. The turnover did it all with a combination of a whole bunch of little things that happened during the game. That's why we love this game. This game is great. And listen, we got a big time game next week. We've got to be better. I still have major question marks. Dorian Strong answered the bell for me. I had no issues with Dorian Strong today. I think if I see him again next week, I'm looking forward to it. If Trey White doesn't have to come back and Dorian Strong can take over, keep that brother out there. The more experience he's getting, and he got the experience under the bright lights. I like that. I don't mind it. Keep going. Cole Bishop. I got question marks on Cole Bishop. I'm going to watch a little bit of film and replay, watch the game again, and hopefully all 22, I can try to parlay our way to get in that. I want to see a little bit more of Bishop, but I'm not sure about Cole Bishop. I love everything else. It's that safety tandem. We've got to be a little better. Those poor angles that Taylor Rapp grabbed the worst angle to tackle Derrick Henry. And he's not a fearful guy. He's not. Taylor Rapp is not afraid to go and lay lumber, but he took horrible angles. My man Cole Bishop got absolutely bounced off that turf at the beginning of the game with that big old stiff arm, bro. That tandem scares me, and this is where I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I don't want Jordan Poyer rubbing his hand like Birdman, saying, "I'm gonna get my turn." I really hope that doesn't happen. Not because I don't like Jordan Poyer. I think if we go that route, we've lost all hope. And that's on Brandon Beane. You didn't do your job to get this team to where it needs to be on the defensive back end. But for the most part, it's game one. Get the jitters out. We got the win. That's what matters to me in the end. So we'll see what adjustments and what McDermott has to say about his defensive performance, because that's your defense. That's your squad. That's why we hired you, and it didn't look good today.
In a lot of ways, it's funny. The Bills picked off exactly where they left off last season in so many ways in this game, where you weren't loving the defense after the game, but it's a victory. The Bills only allow one sack the entire game. Josh Allen was the least sacked quarterback in the NFL last year. I didn't think the offensive line had their best day, but with Allen's ability to navigate the pocket, scramble better than anybody we've really ever seen, or up there with the best, and just extend the pocket beyond the capabilities of the majority of the league. Only one sack. And then, of course, the biggest key, the turnover differential. The Bills win it yet again. The Bills had the best turnover differential in the NFL last year by a very wide margin. The Bills also turned it over on offense at an historically low clip. Once again tonight, Rico, no turnovers for the Bills, win the turnover battle, and it was the ultimate difference. So the amount of things that they picked up on from last year carried into this year that helped them win as many games as they did. And of course, including scoring over 30 points, which they did yet again tonight. And one other thing, they never lost at home last year, and that streak continues again this year, which is just incredible.
The streak continues. Can you imagine if we go another 8 games not losing at home? Oh man, what a way to send off to get into the new stadium. By the way, Walter made a solid point, and we can't gloss over it. He's saying Bernard and Milano were just as disappointing. Too often this fan base will blame the secondary first, but always praise his great LBs are against the pass. I mean, listen, those are the boys that got cooked, right? The safety and so on and so forth. But you're right. Derrick Henry ran for 169 yards. So there's got to be a place that we need to get better. Our angles need to be better, and we need to pursue better. We did a lot better in the second half. That is for sure, because a lot of Henry's big-time runs came in the first half. Obviously, he had that big one in the second, but we corralled him a little bit more. And the Bills ate a lot more clock to begin with. We won the turnover, the time of possession battle. I think we had like 34 minutes of total time a possession
Yep.
to their 25. So we started
The
to kind of
Bills also ran 28 more plays, which is wild.
There you go. So we just need to settle down on the offensive side of the ball in order for us to come and handle our business. So I like what I saw overall. Will we be better? Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to it. Coach McDermott is not one that'll allow multiple bad games from his defense. He adjusts, he makes his adjustments, learns, and you'll see a better product. He does it all the time. We make bad offensive plays or even team plays in the first half, but we make our adjustments in the second half, and that's how we were able to come in. A second half team, we came in, handled business, and away we are.
No doubt about it. So a lot of great performances tonight. Let's see if we had a great performance with our sleeper picks, Rico. And we were awfully close. Let me pull them up because we were really close. We didn't end up getting the W, but we were on the right track. We were closer than I would like to be because we were like an inch away. So over on Sleeper, we had our picks pregame. Here they are in front of you. We took more on Lamar Jackson, 228.5 pass yards. He finished with just over 200, so we didn't hit that one. We had more on James Cook we had more on his rush yards, 54.5. He ended up having more receiving yards, Rico, than he did rushing yards. That was due to the massive little dump off play that got him all the way down right in front of the goal line. He finished with 44. So he had well over 100, or he had over 100 all-purpose yards, but was not able to get more than 54.5 rush yards. But we nailed Derrick Henry. We nailed that one. We had Derrick Henry more than 81.5 rush yards. He finished with 173. So that one was
double that thing.
He hit that before half, Rico, right? And then we had Allen more than 32.5 rush yards and just shy. What if I told you, Rico, Allen ran the ball in this game 14 times? It didn't feel like he did that much, but I guess you factor in all the tush pushes, all the sneaks. So 14 rushes, but only 30 yards. So he was averaging 2 yards a carry. So didn't get it done on our sleeper picks this week, but we're going to try to do better this upcoming week with the Jets game. If you want to get in on that with us upcoming this week for the Jets game or any game this NFL season, do so. Link is in the description below. Sleeper picks, one of the best ways to play, or really one of the best ways to get involved with any game. And if you are locked into that game like we were tonight, adding one more element to it makes it even more fun. Sleeper is a fantasy sports, real money gaming app with over 6 million users in 2023, helping them become the fastest organically growing fantasy platform in the world. You know them well by now, but make sure to get in on their picks feature like we did. It's a ton of fun. Link in the description below. And if you do use that link, make sure you're using the promo code BF25. That'll get you up to a $100 match on your first deposit. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper in the link in the description today. So we were close. It's funny. I would have figured in watching that we would have been more on a lot of those, but it really just came down to the amount of chunk plays that the Ravens had. This is why when you look at the amount of plays run, it's crazy. And this is the perfect example of how much more difficult it was for the Bills offense to score the amount of points they did compared to the Ravens offense scoring the amount of points that they did, right? 78 plays for the Buffalo Bills, 50 for the Ravens to result in nearly the exact same score. That just goes to show you how much easier it was for Baltimore. They scored 40 points on 50 plays. That's wild. So maybe that's why their numbers weren't as high as we thought, because they weren't out there. I mean, they weren't out there nearly as much. The Bills ran far more plays than Baltimore did.
No doubt about it. And I'm looking forward to seeing the analytics, because I'm sure analytics played a big part in this game on how they're going to look at things when they go back and look at the film and look at everything. How are you going to bounce back? Because that's what it comes down to. The game is over and done with. How do you bounce back? Because McDermott's got to answer for that. You allowed Derrick Henry again to run for all those yards. You allowed Lamar Jackson to get out of a pinch when you had him at 3rd and 9. And I mean, Lamar's Lamar. There's not a whole lot you can do, but he's going to have some answers, some questions to answer. And I'm looking forward to how these guys bounce back. And I'm looking for that. Speaking of bouncing back, folks, we're going to bounce back and I got something to drop on you guys.
Ooh.
Are you ready for that, Bot?
I am. Real quick, by the way. Justin's calling me. I just wanted. This is hilarious because I thought we were way closer than we were. We did only go 1 for 4 on that, by the way. So actually, we were not all that close. Going into that, I was like, yeah, I think we were close. And now I'm looking back, I'm like, yeah, we weren't all that close. So just wanted to give Justin a shout out.
Justin reminding us.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Justin. Well, speaking of reminding, let me remind y'all. We were talking about a big time giveaway that we wanted to give to our members. And,
huge.
We decided, let's open it up a little bit. We have a ticket to the Bills-Dolphins Thursday night game that we are ready to give away. But here's the thing. In order for you to be eligible to be alongside myself and Bot and a few others, you have to be a member of the Bing Squad. You got to be a member of the Buffalo Bills YouTube team. Now, how do you do that? SupportBF.com. You can go there and become a member, or you can actually hit that becoming a member now. Here's the deal. Current members, you're in the pool. You have until, if you want to become part of this draw, you got to become a member, sign in to become a member. You have until Thursday. Thursday is when you have time to do it. I'm telling you guys now, so you have an opportunity. You will get a chance to hang out with your boy. This guy over here, he's going to be in that frog mode. He's going to show you how to do it. He'll give you a tutorial and everything.
Not against the Dolphins, I won't be, but I'll still show you. We
are going to be lit. It's going to be a good time. We got one ticket. Thank my friend, our friend, Jeff King. He was the one that said, you guys, I'm not able to make it, but I'm giving this ticket up. You guys, I want you guys to do what you will with it. Find the best person for this. But you know what? How can we find the best person? The best people are watching us right now. And in order for you guys to have an opportunity to become part of it, become a member, it's that simple. Sign in and become a member, and we'll do the drop. But you have until Thursday because the game is in a couple weeks from now. So I'm trying to give you enough time, right? So BBL Bot will be there. Rated R Rico no longer is there because I don't cuss no more. I try to get off that. I'm trying to, you know what I mean? I'm a saved man now, so I'm not trying to do all that. I'm trying. I left that Rico back in the day. So sometimes I get it out there sometimes. But when the game is going and you're there right next to us, and we're having a good old time. Why not? We're gonna be amongst friends, Dolphins fans. You get to see TD Finns cry like a little when you should saw him today. It was awful. It was a terrible look.
Oh, I saw the clips.
You have an opportunity. Go ahead and do it now. Members that are already part of the Big Squad, you guys are set. It's just a matter of if your name gets called. Is that simple.
And let's really paint the picture here on this giveaway because it's not just a ticket. It's not just a ticket. Here's what this ticket's going to entail. This ticket is going to get you into our Wednesday night pre-game live show. We're going to be doing this at a bar in Buffalo. The details will be given to you once you win. We're going to be doing this at a live bar, live show. Me, Rico, Dan, Richie, TD, Colby, the whole roundtable gang, plus Rico and I. Live show Wednesday night. Then we get to Thursday. Now we're talking a full-blown tailgate. A full-blown tailgate with all the amenities, including a live pre-game show in the parking lot at the tailgate. So we're going to be tailgating all night long before the game. And then when you just when you thought the game itself couldn't be better, how about watching it in the suite, in a box suite? That's what this ticket's going to be. It's in a box suite inside of the Ralph. Could be one of the last times you get in there. I know for me, it probably will be the last time I get in there. Imagine sending it off against the Miami Dolphins. And look at, if they play the way they did today, I got a feeling we know where the direction that game's going in. Watching it bird's eye view from a suite inside the Ralph with Rico, with myself, with a bunch of other subscribers, by the way. There's going to be well over 50 subscribers that are going to be there, plus the roundtable gang. So we wanted to make sure we did, we're just so excited about doing this giveaway. And big shout out to Jeff King for hooking us up with it. But just our way of trying to show how much you guys mean to us. And we couldn't be more excited to get the season started off. So excited to be doing this. So become a member. You'll automatically be registered if you join between now and Thursday. Like Rico said, everybody who's already a member, you're already in the drawing, and we'll let everybody know on Thursday who the winner is. And we hope to see you there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
It is going to be a lot of fun. So folks, don't miss out. Don't miss out. I'm telling you, don't miss out, man. It's going to be a good time. I did want to mention something else, because as we're getting into that, we got some super chats that we got to get to and get onto that jazz. Folks, let's not forget, apart from the game, we've been hanging out with y'all for so long. This gives us a chance to meet y'all, dap it up, and have a good time of beer. I'm not a beer drinker, but you know what I'm saying? We'll have a good old time, man. So this is going to be fun. And by the way, Kevin Papa Peck will be there. Kevin will also be there. He's already miserable as ever right now watching what the Dolphins did today. The Dolphins, they got the whole league talking. Like, what in the heck just happened? Well, he's got to deal with that because that's his team. That's who he roots for. I have offered him to jump on the wagon multiple times. He continues to say no and be part of that franchise. You know what? Death to the Dolphins. That's what I say. Death to the Dolphins. So we'll go from there. So Kevin will be there. The whole group will be there. Go ahead. Listen, don't miss out. Guys, do not miss out. Should we get into super chats or what? What are we saying?
We should. We got a ton of them. Let's get into it. Where do you want to start? With my main man, the Lead Robster? Is that where you want to start off?
Lead Robster. Why not?
All right, let's do it. Lead Robster kicking us off with the super chats this evening. What a 2 weeks of football. Got to see Ohio State beat Texas live. Oh, man, forgot you went to that one, Lead. Could not believe how bad Arch Manning looked. I'm hoping he turns things around. As big of a prospect as he is. Your Buckeyes, though, defense looked extraordinary. Texas defense, they stifled you a bit, but 14 points was enough to do it, and I'm glad you enjoyed that outing, Lead. And now, says Lead, this comeback live. Oh, sounds like Lead was there. Man, what a week indeed for Lead Robster. Holy hell. Lead says, I never left because I remembered who we had. Nice touch. Lead says, go Buckeyes and go Bills. BF is the best YouTube channel. Hit him up, Rico. What a week for my man Lead. That's pretty solid right there, Rico.
I love that. Love that for my guy Lead. And listen, man, I mean, for those that were at the game, I had a couple buddies at the game. My man James Kehoe, the Mountain Man, he was at the game. My man Tony Santos was at the game. He was doing it. He was giving me some live updates of what was going down. So that must have been an absolute atmosphere, from the highs of being there right off when the kickoff happens, the Bills going down and marching, putting the ball in the end zone, and then the low. And then the high, and then the low, and then all of a sudden we get the win. That must have been electric. So big shout out to those that have tuned in after getting home. It must have been a zoo to get home, but we appreciate you guys nonetheless, for sure. We got Martian XTG says, Josh Allen has no ceiling. We are watching a master at work. Man, you ain't lying. I was actually hanging out with my buddy Andrew when we were watching this game, and he's like, yo, everything's coming up Josh, man. He's just happier. And then he goes, imagine when he becomes Father Josh, how great he'll be then. I was like, man, well, we got Papa Bot's going to be a Papa Bot soon. So we're going to see a lot of those transitions of people getting into things. But I'm like, you know what? I'd rather have Josh in his honeymoon phase where he's the happiest. Give me a couple championships first, and then you can go do Father Josh, and then we'll go for them. But just give me a championship before, please. Just give me one championship. That's all I need, bro. That's all I need.
Martian says, there's no ceiling that exists with Josh Allen, and we've touched on this where we don't know if we've seen the best because we're already into this experiment, and last year was the best season, and we've already thought we had one of the best, and last year was the best. Now you start the year off with a 15-point comeback in the fourth quarter, dead to rights. You have 300-plus all-purpose yards in the second half alone. You finish with nearly 400 yards through the air, over 400 all-purpose yards, multiple touchdowns. You're dead on, Martian. We don't know where that ceiling is. I hope we never find out because it is sky high, no question.
Sky high. Well, speaking of sky high, we have our guy Ed Oliver that was sky high. He had what a performance that Ed Oliver had today. Like, I mean, it's not that we glossed over because we never really glossed over Ed Oliver. But did you see his box score today? Ed Oliver, 6 total tackles, 6 of them solo, 1 sack, 3 tackles for loss, 1 QB hit, and the forced fumble. Dude, if he's not defensive player of the week, I don't know what to tell you. Let me tell you right now. I'm going to call it right now. Josh Allen, offensive player of the week.
Oh, yeah.
Ed Oliver, defensive player of the week. How could you not give it to both those guys? I'm sure there was some really good performances, but these were key impact players that allowed for this team to go ahead and win this one. Got to give it to them. Both. I'm calling it right now. Go ahead.
And I missed this tidbit from Collinsworth here that Joab's sharing with us. He said, quote, Ed Oliver made the Pro Bowl from tonight's performance alone. And when you read that box score off, when you think about the impact he had on the game, including the biggest defensive play of the game, Hard to argue against it. Massive night for Ed Oliver. He really saved the Bills defensively tonight. It was unbelievable.
Here's
Jimmy
crazy.
D.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, go. What'd you have to say?
Yeah, well, here's crazy what you just said that, because it's funny because he goes, Ed Oliver, he makes a joke, but it's facts. Ed Oliver just made the Pro Bowl today with that performance. That's how much it tells you that it goes by impact on what you do. And then that will carry you to being a Pro Bowler. People around the league will remember that game. So when it goes to Pro Bowl voting and Ed Oliver's name comes up, they're gonna be like, oh yeah, that was that guy that killed it and made Derrick Henry fumble. Yo, throw that guy and that's when it becomes, that politics game. But it is what it is. If he makes it, great on him. Yeah. What's our guy Jim saying? Jimbo.
And Jimmy D's putting it as bluntly as you can, and that's all you need to describe this game. He just says, "What an effing game, boys! What an effing game this was." I mean, not only was it just an all-time game, it was truly it was just one you're never going to forget. And to be on the winning end of that is something else. Like I've said, the amount of times, even in my lifetime, and I was born after all the heartbreak in the 90s, right? The amount of times I've lived through games that have just gone the wrong way, that you're sitting there at the end thinking to yourself, as you have ESPN or whatever on, you're watching the highlights and you're like, man, this game was unbelievable. And here I am, sick to my stomach. Here I am just staring at the ceiling thinking, my God, how the hell am I sitting here after a game like that, just wanting to vomit? But here we are sitting after that game, one of the best we'll ever see, easily the game. This is what's crazy. First weekend of the year, you're not beating that game the rest of the year. There's not a single game that's going to beat that the rest of the year. No way. So what we witnessed an all-timer tonight, Rico, and the Bills were victors.
You know what, though? I glanced over that, but no, we did witness an all-timer. You kept on saying it earlier. I was like, yeah, it was a good game. I was like, no, that was an amazing game. Especially because we came on top and we were sitting here.
I mean, it was even right down to the fact that it was a scoregami. There had never been a game before finishing 41-40. I mean, Rico, this was a SEC football game. When do you see 41-40 in the NFL? And here's the thing too. This game wasn't billed to be some, I can't wait to watch this game, 1 p.m. window. Oh, Alan Lamar. No, this was the marquee matchup of the week for the entire offseason. This game was announced months ago, and everybody's looking forward to Sunday Night Football, Lamar, Josh Allen, the divisional rematch for months. It's hard to live up to that hype. It surpassed it by 1,000 miles. Amazing. It was 41-40. Rico. I mean, you just, I don't even, I've been staring, I have the stats up. I've been staring at that final score, and I've been thinking to myself, I couldn't even pull that off in Madden, right? Where you're playing a game like that and you're like, oh, what a game. You know how you'll play Madden, you're like, that was great. But I don't know how you are, but when I play Madden, I like to make it as realistic as possible. And I'll play a game or two and I'll be like, that was awesome, but that's never going to happen. This is one of those games, 100%.
I got to ask you a question.
Yeah.
So, the word or the term generational talent.
Oh, here we go.
Was a topic of conversation this week and last week. And that was because Dan Orlovsky called Arch Manning a generational talent. And everybody's like, how is he generational talent? Like, what does he do that tells you he's a generational talent? And that got everything started. Ryan Clark just tweeted and said, Josh Allen is really that guy. He's really that generational talent.
Wow, Ryan Clark, he finally had a decent take this week. Good for him. Bravo.
But that is, and he was, when he, and I actually agreed with him when he said that Peyton Manning and I think he said Drew Brees and Tom Brady weren't generational talents. They were just really damn good quarterbacks with good teams around them. To me, a generational talent is something you don't see that comes out of nowhere. Like LeBron James, generational talent. That dude is 6'8", can play all 5 positions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Josh Allen, generational talent. I truly agree with that. Are you in the I guess in the when you hear that conversation of generational talent, is there a term for you, or it's like, you know, when the greats, the guys who are in Hall of Fame are generational talent? How do you see that when people talk about generational talent?
I see why you thought he was right. I get what you're saying, but like at the same time, Tom Brady's a generational talent in ways that might not show up on the football field. I don't think anybody's ever read a defense better in the history of the league. I don't think anybody's been a bigger competitor in the history of the league. There are other ways to be generational talents other than arm strength or the ability to run a guy over, right? So I think when you're looking at the elements of what made these guys great, Drew Brees, for instance, generational talent when you factor in the height. There's never been a quarterback that of his height that has been as successful as he's been. I was actually just talking about this with somebody today because they were asking me if all quarterbacks are like over 6 foot or whatever. And I'm like, no, believe it or not, because they literally said, is it tough for them to see over the line of scrimmage? And I was saying, yeah, this has been a known thing for Tua. One of his biggest struggles. It's been a known thing. And it's what made Drew Brees, what Drew Brees did that much more miraculous, because he was literally one of the only, if the only short quarterback to have the success that he did. And then Peyton Manning, I mean, I don't know. I think that, yeah, I think Peyton Manning was one of the greatest college prospects of all time coming out. I don't know how he's not a generational talent, but I also see what you're saying. There's a lot of times where generational talent is visible to everybody. If you're watching Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Josh Allen, you are watching generational talent. It does not take a football expert, or really, it doesn't take anybody to know a lick at anything about football to sit down, watch a weekend's worth of football, and then watch those 3 guys and have your takeaway be, those guys are different than everybody else I watched. That to me means generational talent. I think that there's different ways to define it, but there's no way to define Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes as anything other than generational.
We are watching, honestly, greatness. Like, you're looking at 3 of these quarterbacks, and there's more. Jayden Daniels, I think, is going to be a sensational player when he goes. Justin Herbert looked freaking damn good against the Chiefs this weekend. So very interesting conversation. But I'm with in this case, Mr. Ryan Clark with Josh Allen being generational. That boy nice like that, man.
He didn't do a great job of explaining why those guys weren't generational. That was the problem. If you're going to have that take, you better have a good reason behind why you're saying it. That's the why you feel that
hot
way.
Water. So anything Ryan Clark says now, everybody's just they're on him. I'm not with that. I still think he's a good talent. He's a controversial guy.
Really,
sometimes controversy sells on TV, and he's doing it well. He's doing it well.
If there's one thing he's doing well, it's that.
Well.
Oh well, yeah, okay. That's all I got to say on that.
I got you. We got Lucas Ritter says, how about that catch from Haas, though? But let me get a...
Pregnant Caroline sleep in the room over. Lucas, I got to do this one quiet. Baby. Like you said, Rico, earlier, did not everybody think that was Dalton Kincaid? You got Jackson Haas, a late round rookie draft pick, drafted to block for these guys, making one of the catches of the night in one of the most historic NFL games ever. I mean, come on. Everybody got involved tonight, by the way, Rico, if you're talking about Haas. Josh Allen completed the ball to 9 different guys. But what I loved about tonight, Rico, there were 5 players tonight for the Buffalo Bills that caught 4 or more passes. When you look at the Baltimore Ravens end of things, like I mentioned earlier, Zay Flowers, 7 catches. There wasn't a single other player that caught more than 2. So Allen got 5 different guys involved in a very sizable way. And this is why when we talk about everybody eats and people kind of laugh it off, well, you saw it tonight. I mean, you really did. Everybody on that offense at one point or another made a big play to help build up this massive comeback in that W.
I'm just glad that you saw the 2 biggest assets at the receiver position were able to step up and help him near the end. And Josh Palmer and Keon Coleman, I'm looking forward to seeing that develop, that chemistry build with those guys. So we'll see how that all shakes out. My guy, Ismael Manero, says, yo, don't call it a comeback. Keon Himothy. Yo, Keon was good, man. I love what Keon did today. And you know what? He probably looked at his performance today and said, I got to be better. I haven't seen anything yet, but I'm sure he said, I got to be better. I'm waiting to see a little bit more. Dan Echo. Appreciate that super chat, Dan. He goes, instant classic. Yes. Bend but not break defense, Rico. Hit that horn, baby. You got it, baby. I got you, bro. I totally got you, man. But it was an instant classic. This is one of those. This is one of those things that replays on NFL Network. But like, hey, remember that game, week 1, Sunday Night Football? The freaking schedule makers certainly picked a good one. They picked a good one in a good slot. Could you imagine putting the Bills Ravens at 4:00? Guys, don't do that to us. Don't do that to us. That is the team is good now. The team is good now, and that's what you want to see.
Couple things. Do you look at that game? You know how when you hear best regular season game ever, because I still think, even though we were on the losing end of it, I can't deny it. Bills Chiefs 13-second game was probably the greatest game I've ever seen. But this was the best regular season game I think I've ever seen. Oftentimes when that question's asked, there's usually one answer, and it's Chiefs Rams Monday Night Football. I think it was 2017, Jared Goff versus Patrick Mahomes. They scored into the 50s. It was an insane game. This to me was better because of the way it ended. That game didn't end as dramatically as the score indicated or the way the game was going. It was an all-timer. And you want to know what I think of when I think of instant classic? The old Maddens, I don't know if you remember, but they had Madden moments. Yep. And you could go back and replay insane games. And then the old college games had the instant classics. This game would immediately make its way into that for sure.
Good call. Good call on that. I totally agree. What's Jason saying?
My man Jason saying, offense felt vanilla. Why go for 2? No challenge on the should have been first down run. Yeah. McDermott has Allen. Allen is great. Why hold him back early? I did not think this was a terrific night for Sean McDermott this evening. I hated the decision to go for 2. I hated the play calling on the 2-point conversions. That's not necessarily McDermott's fault. That was more on the end of Joe Brady. And then look at the decision to challenge it. Yeah, I mean, you got to have somebody. Didn't the Bills hire someone whose sole job is to tell Sean McDermott to challenge or not? I mean, where has that guy been?
Unless McDermott said, I got it, just leave it. That should have absolutely been challenged. There's got to be somebody that's there. Yo, you got to challenge it. He got the spot. But I don't know. Pressure's on. Maybe somebody fell asleep at the wheel. I don't know. But that certainly could have cost us. God,
here's what I hate, though. You know, you got Terry McCollum coming in, and he's basically laughing. He's like, yeah, that's close, but you really can't spot the ball a full yard away. Well, guess what, Terry? They just did. You know, on Sunday Night Football in front of how many millions? Get it right. You install this technology. We're watching the replay, and it's visible. It's obvious. The guy's got a first down. I mean, what are we doing? Then guess what happened the next play? Holding. It's 3rd and 11 when it should have been first down. You can't let that shit happen.
Good memory, because I forgot about that. You're right. It was a holding call. And I was telling my wife next to me, I was telling Jenna, I was like, that should have been a first down. And now they put us short. Yeah. And now we got a holding call. 2 plays. Boom. We're back. We're set back. This kills us, man. Oh, we gotta love this game, man. What am I? What is it? Save a whale? Save a rail rider running back. Here we go. Do the Bills finally, I don't even know how I know that song, but anyway, here we go. Do the Bills finally have a win for the game of the year?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I mean, that's what we've been pounding the table on tonight, Save a Whale. Finally, the Bills on the right side of one of those insane games. They absolutely do.
And you're right. We're on the right side because we usually fall on the short side of that. Let's go. Yep. GQ Bob. It's been a minute. GQ Bob. What's going on, man? He goes, the best game I have ever seen Oliver played. Absolutely. Also, Prater, Stars of the Night. Also, Josh Allen, JA17. Oh my God. Those throws were a piece of art. You damn right they were, brother. You damn right. You got to love to see it. Let's keep it rolling. Here we go. Let's see. We got GQ Bob goes, Jason Miller. We got that. It's a game of checks. It's the game that checks Ravens fans still upset Lamar wasn't MVP, and then Allen showed why. This was a clear game.
That's a great point.
You can't not love Allen, and Ravens fans can't hate Allen because he all he does is prop up your quarterback and outplay your quarterback. He outplayed him in the playoff game last year. He outplayed him tonight. It's that simple. And at the end of the day, when you want to make plays, sometimes you might have to be. And I bet you, here's another thing. I said this earlier, that Harbaugh has to trust his quarterback. I bet you Josh, if it was 4th and 3 and Josh is sitting there, he would have looked at McDermott and says, we got it. Wave him off. Lamar's got to have some gumption to say, yo, Harbaugh, I got it. And I mean, maybe you call it week 1 or not, but you got to let the big dogs got to be the big dogs. And right now, Josh Allen, he got the win. And he was the better quarterback tonight and is the better quarterback in my opinion. So let's keep it rolling. Don't tell it to Ravens fans, though. They're not going to like that.
Well, I feel like he makes a great point there because tonight you did see why he won the MVP over Lamar. It's not that Lamar isn't great and didn't make amazing plays. It's that Josh Allen wills the team to victory in a way that wouldn't be possible in Baltimore without Derrick Henry on the field or Zay Flowers on the field. I mean, yeah, Keon Coleman has 112 yards, but they didn't have a single rusher go for more. I mean, what did James Cook finish with in this game, right? I mean, they couldn't run the ball.
40 yards.
They had 100 yards of rushing. So you look at what the Ravens did and what Josh Allen did tonight. You could look at both quarterback performances and say, yeah, both were incredible. But here's why Josh Allen wins the MVP. Because Josh Allen, once again, wills his entire team to victory. Whereas if Derrick Henry isn't on that football field tonight, I don't think that game is close to what it was. And that's a major indicator of what the word MVP to me means. Most valuable player. Josh Allen's not on that field tonight. I mean, they're not even close. Lamar isn't on that field. It's a different game, but Derrick Henry still would have absolutely ran rabid over the Buffalo Bills tonight. So you saw it tonight.
You saw it. It was very clear. Good point. Narhim, speechless. How on earth did we win this one? We lack enough top talent, and 17 keeps bailing us out. Call it what you want. Bail us out, wills us to victory. Listen, everything is good when 17 is leading the way. And what I love most about this game is we left this game unscathed. There weren't any major injuries that I can recall. So everyone ice up, get in the hyper chamber or the hyperbolic chamber. What is that thing that they put their legs in and all that crap? Get all that rehab, all that stuff. Get ready for next week because it's a long season. We got to get ready for it. Edic has been a member for 45 months. So you, Edic. This game drove me crazy. When we were down 25-40 and we made great play after great play in the fourth, I said, stop playing with my emotions, Bills. Well, they didn't play with your emotions. They got the job done. And that's the way we like to see it. Get the job done. Will Call says, yo, Keon Coleman, 8 for 112 and a touchdown. Ain't that what you want to see going forward? That's what you want to see. You want to see guys like Keon Coleman give you numbers like that. Is it going to be every game? No. But that's why you want a complimentary piece like Khalil Shakir, Kincaid, get the whole crowd going. We'll be all right.
Another thing, too, I don't think a single receiver all year last year had a performance like Keon Coleman did tonight. I don't think there was a single one the entire season that I can really recall.
I really think so, because that was like an okay performance. Did we not have someone do well?
I mean, I don't know, dude.
The last person that did well was like 5 for 135. It was Keon.
Yeah, I mean, 7 for 112 and a huge touchdown to swing the game.
Crazy.
I mean, I don't know. This might be, I mean, this was a different performance tonight. It really was. They haven't had that guy. He was that guy tonight. And that's also factoring in that you still got really solid play, really solid moments from Shakir, from Josh Palmer, and from Dalton Kincaid tonight. You know?
No question, man. No question. Josh Thornton says, hey, by the way, how's your boy Bobby Baltimore? Did you talk to him yet?
Bobby B? I haven't talked to him after that one. He's probably live himself. He's probably calming down the flock right now if I were to imagine.
I'm looking forward to that conversation you have with him. My man JT says, yo, talk to a Baltimore fan for the game, but they were owning us. Oh, before the game, they were owning us. I simply left him with Josh effing Allen. His actual middle name is Patrick because of his greatness. People think it's a effing Allen. It's effing Allen. But you know what? Listen, Patrick Allen, effing Allen, he did the damn job. That's what matters at the end of the day. He got the damn job. What's Jello saying? What's Jello saying?
Go ahead.
Jello saying, man? Let's go.
He's saying, Rico, ring that damn bell for Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. That was historic in all caps. I'm going to show this to Caroline tomorrow when she tells me everything's historic. Every time you watch the Bills, it was historic, says C. Jello. Damn it, it's not just me. Josh Allen in the fourth quarter, 16-21. I did not know this. So this is the stat line for Josh Allen in the fourth quarter from C. Jello. 16-21, 269. Is this accurate? 16-21, 269 and 3 touchdowns in the fourth. Dude, is that really accurate?
That's a regular quarterback stat line for a game. You kidding me?
And a good one at that. Good one. Hasn't been done in 35 years.
Unbelievable. Yo, C. Jello, that's a stat. That is a stat. We appreciate you, bro.
So that would mean if you were to have done that in the first quarter, right, that would mean you're on pace for 1,000-yard game. I think the most ever thrown in a game is around 600, maybe.
It's crazy.
I mean, dude.
That's nutty, man. That's freaking nutty. Jason Miller, Oliver made the play needed when it mattered. You damn right he did. He absolutely did, man. This guy was on top of things. He came to make a statement, and that he did. Victor Lopez, what's up, Vic? Straight ice in the veins of our winter soldier, Josh Allen. By the way, welcome to Buffalo 15. Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm loving it. Loving every bit of it. Edict says, what a huge step up from Coleman in the second half. Yo, yeah, Coleman is just getting warmed up, man. He's just getting warmed up. And if these guys can really continue to build on that chemistry, this would be fantastic. This would be great, man. This would be amazing. What do we got? Josh Thornton says, yo, Maffa peacefully can know Allen has some dogs. We got some dogs. We just need to hear a little bit more barking. Hey. I need them to bark a little more at the beginning of the game, because right now they were whimpering. You know when you pull the collar of a dog? Josh was pulling on the collar saying, yo, hurry up, fellas. And these guys were whimpering. And then in the second half, they start to dig deep and start growling. And that's when the dog came out. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. Love to see it. And sometimes you got to pull that collar on that dog to make, bring that dog out. Bring that dog out. I'm talking like I'm a dog owner. I don't know if that's actually the case, but
that's about right. It's about right.
That's about right. Here we go. We got what's Mike Fitz saying?
Mikey Fitz, by the way, member for going on a year. We appreciate you, Mike. He's saying it is difficult being the first game with new looks. The Bills were able to hang around and made the most of their opportunities. The Ravens blinked and were not able to hold on to their position. Yeah, I mean, week one, you saw it around the league today. Yeah, it's difficult. I mean, the amount of teams that just looked awful. Miami, terrible. Detroit, awful. New England, I thought they started off well, and they couldn't do anything. They couldn't do a damn thing in the second half. I thought
the next Josh Allen.
Yeah. The Chiefs were terrible the other night. There was literally like 5 teams that looked really good to me this weekend. The Chargers
look good.
The Bills, the Ravens, and even then there's elements of the Bills and Ravens where both teams are walking away from that saying, man, I don't feel good about X, Y, and Z. You're right, though. Week one, you saw it today. There's certainly some growing pains, but luckily for the Bills, those growing pains didn't result in a loss, and they can move on to next week against the Jets team, by the way, that were on the opposite end of what I was just discussing. That team looked leaps and bounds better than anything I was expecting. The fact that they scored 32 points, I mean, I would never have ever put $1 on that in terms of betting on them to do that.
That defensive front looks pretty damn good. They look pretty damn good. What do we got from my man? Lucas Ritter says, yo, Edward Oliver. You know what time it is when it comes to Ed Oliver. Eddie E. Eddie O. If the defense makes the plays that they need to make, it wouldn't put so much pressure on Josh Allen to go down the field and play Superman. Scott, you ain't lying, bro. You ain't lying. But the unfortunate part is you're going up against a guy kind of like Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And you're going up a guy like Derrick Henry. And that becomes very tough to beat. Now, the one thing I can say that we did well was we bottled up Mark Andrews. You didn't really hear peep from Mark Andrews today. And that is a go-to weapon. That's a go-to weapon for Lamar Jackson. So, I mean, there's some bright spots we could take it from the team for sure. Isaac says, I heard that Shannon Sharp say once, don't accept in a win what you wouldn't accept in a loss. Ooh, that's fire. Because that's exactly what you said earlier. Because you said, and Bot said it clearly, let's not make too many excuses, because if this team lost, we would be raking them against the coals if that was the performance that lost us the game. Luckily, we won, so we're trying to find some grace. But if they lost, we wouldn't be looking for any grace. We'd be killing them. And you're right. And Shannon Sharp said it best. Don't accept in a win what you wouldn't accept in a loss. Hell yeah. That's a great point. Thanks for that, Isaac. Hell yeah. You hit that one on the nail.
Here we go. I've been waiting for this one because I don't even know what it says. I just saw the first sentence.
Signifies though. What's he saying?
Signified. He just hates. I've never seen anybody. I honestly, I respect it. I mean, he is dedicated to the bit. Signified says, can y'all stop kissing Lamar's ass? He had 13 completions all night to a hilariously wide open Flowers. and Henry running for damn near 200 yards. Josh has more completions in the fourth quarter than Lamar had the whole game. All right, so there's a lot here. There's a couple of things. They both scored in the 40s, so it resulted in the same. Lamar had one of the best plays I've ever seen tonight, getting out of that sack and getting the first down. That should have ended the game. Should have ended the game. There's maybe no one else can do. I don't even know if Allen could have made that play, because Allen, that's a move. No, that's a Lamar only move. It really just is.
No doubt.
I don't know what signified. I don't know how you can watch that game and not walk away thinking Lamar is right now the second best quarterback to Josh Allen. I mean, Rico, am I nuts? I don't know.
No, you're not nuts. You're on it. you're completely on it.
I mean, Zay Flowers was
pure hatred for the Ravens. He lives in that area. He hears the Ravens radio. He hears all of that. And shoot, it is what it is. That's too bad that we didn't go on that radio show today, because that would have been perfect to let them know.
What was up with that, by the way?
We get ghosted. What the? I'll never understand it.
I don't understand when people reach out to you. They reach out to you, and then you reply, "Yeah, I would like," and then you never hear from them again. This happens to me all the time. I'm just like, huh? I'm like, huh? Okay.
It's crazy. So, folks, for those that are not understanding what we're talking about, we get reached out to by a pretty big radio station in Baltimore to say, "Hey, we'd like you to come on to our show and talk Bills Ravens matchup. You guys can represent the Buffalo Bills. You can talk about it because we saw your content and we like what you guys do. Come on the radio show." I look up the radio show. It's one of the top radio shows in Baltimore. So I was like, let's do it. Hey, we'd love to. What are we looking to do? Let's go. Ghosted. Never heard back. You reached out to us.
I know.
Like, what's going on? You know what?
Hey, maybe they'll have us on tomorrow. I wouldn't mind going on and talking about that game tomorrow. I'll give them. I'll shoot them a tag. I'll shoot them an email.
Yeah, hey, do you guys want us to come on? Because it'd be a perfect time to come on. You're right, though. That would be a freaking amazing time to do it. Let's go to our guy Bartek. What's Bartek saying?
BT, what's up, brother?
BT.
I think I'm seeing BT next weekend at the Jets game. I think.
Oh shoot! Are you going to the Jets game?
I am. We're going squad deep to that game. We're going like 12 people.
I'm gonna be rolling solo.
I know. I was
waiting. It's gonna be.
I was waiting to break the bad news here, because I love going to the games, but then when the game's over, I'm so pissed that I'm not doing the post game. That's what I hate about it.
And sometimes you try to do, but the connection's not great, and so on and so forth. We'll hold it down. We'll make sure we'll hold it down.
Well, the thing with the Jets game, it's the only easy game I can go to. It's the only local game for me. So it's like we roll up on it, and I think I'm seeing BT there.
How far are you from Jet Stadium from where you're at?
Like 40 minutes.
Oh, right there.
Yeah, so
easy peasy.
Yeah, it'll be fun. BT saying, I dedicate this win to Jenna, who lost her life to cancer this past week. I met her at a Bills backer bar in New Orleans, and she was a diehard Bills fan, a great mother, and an amazing person. Go Bills. Bartek, love it. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. And what a win to have dedicated to Jenna. Thanks for sharing that, Bartek. And
yeah, for sure. Bartek is a class act, bro. You're a class act.
Yeah, he is. Dude, when I met Bartek last year at the Jets game, he just shows up with a big old bag of stuff from the Polish market for me.
What did he give you? A bag of what?
Pickles. What else was in there? Some cookies, I think, was in there. I think this is why I thought, we had some
sausage in there or no?
No, but I think he told me he's bringing some Polish booze to this Jets game. So I'm interested to see what. Oh, I remember what else he got me. He got me these chocolates filled with liquor, which were sweet. That was good.
Oh, Bartek knows how to party.
Yeah, he does. Oh, he knows how to party.
Last super chat of the night, my man Thomas comes in and says, "Hey man, I appreciate that super chat. We appreciate it. I know it's a great night, but man, how much longer can we keep letting McDermott get away being a top defensive coach? Yet it's the team's only weakness." Well, listen, man,
I got nothing for you tonight on that. There's no defending what we saw tonight. Give me a couple weeks.
You can't defend it, and the only defense I don't even want to call it a defense, but the only defense I can come up with to try to answer your question is McDermott. And I've said it before: McDermott isn't the one playing on the field. His guys have to execute. If you got Taylor Rapp taking poor angles, you got Bishop getting bounced off the turf. your two corners get hurt. I mean, what can you do? You got to put out what you got on that defensive side of the ball, but it becomes a yearly thing. So I get that part. So I'm with Bot in that regard and saying there's nothing else I can say other than that. But appreciate that super chat, Thomas. But hopefully McDermott's got to get better. He's just got to get better. He's got to get these guys to understand what's take place. He's got enough veterans on this team that he should be able to get that down. So I guess we'll soon see, man. We'll soon see. So that's it for super chats. We got 3,500 of y'all in this chat going strong. Bot is on the other side of me falling asleep. It's 3:00 in the morning. It's almost 3:30 in the morning.
You gotta work tomorrow?
I gotta be on the ferry tomorrow in the morning for work.
What time?
I gotta take the ferry at 10. I gotta leave here by 8. So yeah, it's a fun time. By the way, Signified Nose comes back and says, do you think the NFL will suspend and or fine Lamar for shoving that fan? Absolutely not.
No way.
Absolutely freaking
You can't touch the players.
You can't.
Okay.
He was a kid. I would have punched that kid right in his mouth. Like, yo, you want to do grown man stuff? You're going to get this grown man fist on your chin. Stop that mess. Stop messing with these players. You can't do that. First of all, he smacks D-Hop on the top of D-Hop's head and shoves him. D-Hop's too happy to even worry about it. And they tried to do the same thing to my man Lamar. Don't forget, Lamar's a Florida boy, huh? He's a Florida boy. Don't play with these Florida boys, man. He'll shove you right back. And that fan deserved it. Now, I don't know if you go as far as banning the fan. I know some people like, ban him for life.
No, it's cut. You're done. You're done.
Are you done? Is he cooked? Is he done?
No, I've seen people get banned for way less.
Oh, so he is done.
I've heard of people getting banned for bringing in like e-cigarettes. So if you're touching the players, I got a feeling you're cooked. Yeah.
No, he's.
I don't know how old. How old was it? A kid? I didn't know.
Somebody said it was a kid.
I don't even know.
Like a grown man, you're gonna get treated like a grown man. What's that saying? Play stupid games, win stupid. You mean prizes? Whatever the case. You got it. You learned your lesson. You effed around and you found out. You FAFO'd. And you got it.
I didn't realize it was a kid. Regardless, they're both wrong. You can't. Okay, so if he was like
both wrong.
Yes, you can't reciprocate. You can't shove the person back. That was dumb by Lamar.
What you mean you can't shove the person back? The person just shoved your teammate, and he's about to do the same to you. No, get off me. What are you doing?
I mean,
what you mean?
Because you would think that the player with a lot to risk there in that situation wouldn't. It's kind of like back to the not the same thing, but the other night in the Cowboys game. It's just like, don't do anything under the public eye that would get you scrutinized, right? This is where I'm thinking, like, you're right. Like, would most people think that retaliation, like whatever, like, I get what you're saying, but you would have to think in that situation, if you're Lamar or whoever, you got to just be the bigger person because of who you are. So I thought he was wrong in that regard, but the big takeaway here, you cannot touch the players. I mean, that's the main takeaway here. I'm not trying to, like, it's literally insane to do. I can't imagine doing that.
I was like, what the hell is that dude doing? I'm like, and when I saw Lamar shove him back, I was like, good, sit your butt down. And he probably loved it. Did you guys see that? I got showed by Lamar Jackson. Security. Well,
they showed him on the sideline after. You could see he was talking. He was probably, I mean, I get it. He was probably pissed off. I mean,
like,
you don't know.
Don't touch me like that, bro. You know how much I'm worth? I'm over $250 million. Don't touch me like that, kid. I'm saying, bro.
Yeah, you can't do that, man. I bet you whoever. Well, I don't know if he was a kid or whatever, but
you think he's cooked? It's done. It's over.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow, that sucks. He's banned. You're banned from the stadium. Now it's this stadium, but maybe next stadium he'll be allowed. Who knows?
Oh, that's a good point.
Yeah, but if you're a season ticket holder, what do they just revoke your season tickets? That's crazy.
Oh, they don't care. Somebody will buy that, right?
I guess. Yeah.
Down there,
sure.
I mean,
that. Oh yeah. They say fine and suspension. No,
what crazy. for the fan?
No way. They ain't fining Lamar. There's no way. All right, Bot. What else you got to close out?
Well, what's crazy is we are 2 hours 15 minutes in, and I feel like we only scratched the surface. I feel like there's just so much here. So I'm gonna go back, rewatch, and then tomorrow on the smoke break, we're gonna dive into it again. I'm gonna go rewatch. Yes. We're gonna talk about more from this game that I go back and kind of just remind myself of. There was so much insanity in that game that I think it was so easy to skim over things. I think we did a good job here tonight tackling the main things, but going to go back, rewatch tomorrow, right where you're at, BF YouTube channel. smoke break, we'll dive into it again. But for tonight, man, I can't thank you enough. Everybody tuning in, thousands of you, to celebrate what was one of the more insane victories you'll ever see. And it just so happened that our Buffalo Bills were the one to get that W. Oh, man.
Man, oh, man.
How about you, Rico? What do you got?
Three things before you guys get out of here. My man, P Money, has put together his highlight show from the live show that he did today. So go ahead and check that out once we're done. Number 2, don't forget, you have until Thursday to become a member of the Buffalo Fanatics YouTube. Go ahead and become a member so you can actually be entered into the draw to get a chance to go and chill with us on Wednesday night with the pod with the Roundtable of Sports Boys, and then join us for the game on Thursday night in the suite. Have a good old time. Listen, man, just be available. Join, be available, come have a good time. It'll be the best. Thirdly, folks, if you haven't joined our server, we are on Discord. Go ahead and join the server. It's where we do our talk live. We talk everything, voice chats, all that stuff. My man Bot is in there. I'm in there. Pierre's in there. We're trying to build that server up. So now we have a place to go and chat all day. Sometimes you don't want to go on Twitter. Sometimes you don't want to go on YouTube. You don't want to do that. You want to go on a Discord chat. Go ahead and join us on the server. We're doing a giveaway, VIP access. All you have to do is be invited, get in there. If you're a member, it's already free. If you're not a member, come on and join it. You got a 3-day trial. See what you like. Come on and join us. Have a good time. And that's it for me. But you're good. I feel great. I'm going to go to bed like a baby. Even I'm going to have 3 hours of sleep. Don't care. I'm going to get on that ferry, go sleep, snooze for an hour, and we're back at it again. I can't wait.
It doesn't feel right saying goodbye after this one, but we're going to have to for now. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back throughout the week. Try to get some sleep tonight, folks. I know you're as amped up as I am. It might be tough.
We appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. 3,400 y'all just hanging out with us. I love it.
Crazy. We had 10,000 join Pierre. I saw 10,000 ended up going and checking out Pierre's live game reaction. They probably wanted to go and see what shot time looked like at the end of that one. So you guys have been rocking with us tonight. We can't thank you enough. You guys are the absolute best. Absolutely no way to kick off a season better. I mean, this was incredible. So thanks to everybody staying up late, 2:30 a.m. Eastern. We appreciate hanging out with nearly 4,000 of you tonight. Wild.
Great.
Amazing.
Fantastic.
That's it, though. That's it. We're gonna get on out of here. Much love to you. Get some sleep. We'll talk tomorrow.
Go Bills, baby.
Go Bills.
Let's go.